the lab.
Oh, okay. I think that I noticed that.
But for some reason, I thought it was 8 o'clock my time.
Oh, I'm glad that we got that. I'm glad we got that figured out then.
Yeah. I must have put it down in the calendar incorrectly. Sorry.
No, you're good. Let me go back into here. Oh man, I got to redo all this. All right, hold on. I wonder if I could go on both channels. I don't even know which page this is right here. Hold on. Wait, are we on? Are we even on there? No, I don't think so. No. All right, which one is? I usually do all this shit right now, and no one's in here, so. But we're good. Here we go. Bam. Looks like this looks like a StreamYard the stream key. Oh, I guess it was the wrong one. Damn, that should be good. Let's go. What's up, everybody? I see everybody starting to come in. Let's get this up on YouTube, on Instagram. Cool. We're good there. All right, well, we still have a couple minutes. We'll let some people get in here. Should have went live, did it? Oh, don't look. Wait, should be on Instagram too. What's up, Nick? Here we go. That's why. Still definitely getting used to the difference between this and Instagram. This is new. Me doing this like this is new. So,
Is it really hard to combine the two?
I mean, it's all connected. It's just, you once everything's in place, it's pretty easy overall. But I guess as you keep doing it, like it becomes second nature. For me, I'm definitely not at that point at all yet. So I'm like realizing something's not right or fixing it or, whatever like that. So, all right. So, okay. Let's let some people get in here. So, yeah, we'll wait 2 more minutes and then we'll start, which is going to be, 7 o'clock, which is what it says. But I will say this to all you guys that are in here right now. There's 17 people in here. You guys get all your questions together. Tissue culture. We're gonna really talk about that. We'll talk about a couple different things. But I feel like any questions you guys have on that in particular, she's gonna be able to walk everybody through it, give you guys an idea of what you might not know. So. Are we not? Oh, okay, we're good. All right, we are. What's up, Nick? Oh. Get all the phones out so we can see everything. All right. Looks like we're just about ready to go, guys. All you people on Instagram, if you guys want to come over to the YouTube, it'll make it easier for me to be able to see your guys' questions. And what is up, everybody? Welcome. I'm gonna wait one more minute. Yeah, you guys get all your questions, and I will put up all your guys' questions that I see. I will throw up on the screen like that, and we will get to all your guys' questions. So the more questions, the better. Let's you know, let's get some good questions. All right. So anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself first, and then we'll get started.
So I'm Addie. I'm a geneticist. Just got my bachelor's degree, and I'm a PhD candidate at a university here. Study mainly plant physiology and biotech.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So, how long have you been going to school for? I mean, your master's is 8 years, right? Or
So
more?
I went from a master's program to the PhD, and because I figure it's a lot better, and there's only a year more. It's 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
Um, and it took me 3 years to get my bachelor's degree, so I floored it through it as much as I could.
Well, tell me a little. I mean, a little bit about. I know we're going to talk about tissue culture, but I mean, what else? What else do you specialize in? What do you have going on in the lab besides tissue culture, or is that your main focus?
So right now, what we do primarily is just tissue culture. We're starting to do pathogen and sexing of plants, um, and I do a lot of experiments on the side, a lot of breeding for different producers, and especially now with my micro seeds that I've created in vitro. Um, I have a lot of producers kind of wanting to know more about that, as well as we offer storage of mothers that are in
Okay.
TC. So it just varies on anything from tissue culture, genetics, breeding, and researching new methods.
All right. So, what kind of breeding are you doing? What are you working with? What is this new? What can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so um, I'm working with a few producers or breeders and just kind of seeing. There's a lot of theoretical science that hasn't been done in cannabis. It's been done in other crops that I've been actually experimenting with cannabis. One of those are the in vitro fertilization. So just like a woman, the egg of hers and the
Mm,
sperm of a male is pretty much what I did with the plants. Um,
okay.
I, I created like a medium within the petri dish. So after pollination, I put all the ovaries inside of the petri dish, and they've all grown seeds. They're really, really small, but they're all growing seeds that have embryos inside. So it's a sterile way to breed without the risk of pathogens or it being exposed to any environmental things.
So this is all done within the petri dish, then.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. And
So
is this new? Has this been done with anything else? Vegetable. Like, has it been done with anything else? Is that where it came from originally, or is that?
so
And then
it's
you
it's
decided to try it with cannabis, or
it's been done in other crops. It's just never been done with cannabis. I've been told that it was not feasible with cannabis, but that's not true. And when I posted it on LinkedIn, someone did it about 10 years ago, supposedly, but they have no pictures or anything for it. But I will be doing the project again with 700 samples instead of the five.
all right, let's
Yeah,
go. Yeah, I mean, hey, I did this before. Where's your show me? Show me you did it before, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um. All right. Let's see if we have a couple questions, and then we'll talk about tissue culture a little bit more. That's very interesting though. Like, I definitely love to see. Th- it boggles my mind in a way a little bit because, like, okay, wait. So in the petri dish, like, how many seeds can you possibly get? Is there, can you?
So I just as long as a plant has stigmas, that's where the ovary is located.
Hmm.
As many as I can get off the plant, then I just fertilize them while it's still on the plant. But there's different maturity levels, and I haven't published yet, so I won't really say. But one of the maturity levels is better than the other, um,
Okay.
and I don't know if I could turn this around, but there it goes. So these are
Well,
what the seeds look like, and you can see how itty bitty they are. They're super tiny. The petri dish is no bigger than my hand,
right.
but it was done completely in vitro. I'm trying to get one for you so you guys can look at it as best as you can. All right.
Well, let's go.
That's it there.
Okay. Okay. Look at that.
Yeah. And you can see they're like super itty bitty, but they are expressing the phenols of the parentals. So we're really excited about this because it'd be a way to breed and ship overseas without the risk of contamination.
That is very interesting. So, okay, have you grown these out? Like I know you're saying, they're small, but have you grown these out yet? Have you tested? Has if you have grown them out, have you been finding what you expected to find as well?
So I just actually did this. It's only been I did this May 2nd.
Okay.
So it's really new to me. I haven't went through the whole process. The two professors that I talked to that actually done this with other crops said it takes like a year and a half to go from in vitro to producing the actual like fruits. But that was
Okay.
for I can't remember, it was like orange or something.
Okay.
So it's a whole different kind of crop. But this one I've been observing since fertilization, and I uh, you can see the embryo inside of the seed, and I've cut open one of them. I didn't want to, but in the name of science, I had to. So I cut it open, and it has the embryo inside, and it even has the root tip of the embryo that's there. So I'm hoping that I'm trying to make a different medium to kind of make it go a lot faster without
Right.
making any of the cells burst. And that's the hardest part, is finding the correct concentrations of these chemicals to allow for proper growth and
Mhm.
no mutations.
Very interesting. You definitely, after this night and about down the road a little bit, I want you to. I mean, I'm just gonna say this right now. You're gonna have to come back and like fill us in as how this all went too. We want to know. Um, okay, I will stop for a second. Let me see. So we have. I will throw up a couple questions. We know we're gonna talk. They know we're gonna talk about tissue culture. So it looks like there's a couple questions already. We'll get to those.
So, for refrigeration, no. The only thing that you'll need to, um, like when it comes to refrigerating stuff, is if you're extracting DNA for the chemicals, you'll have to have like a really low freezer. But for tissue culture, no. This is my TCs are here, and there's no special refrigeration at all for any of them. It just depends on what it is that you're doing. Um, but there are a few different methods of tissue culture. And just micropropagating, just like taking a clone, doesn't require anything special.
How about for storage? Well, we can get into this because I'm curious about long term storage, how long you could store for. I mean, I sort of have a pretty good idea, but I feel like it's a good topic that we should at least touch on. Um, but let's. I'll try to get through the questions you guys have already asked. Obviously, these questions came in a little bit ago. I'm behind, but that's how it's going to go. So
So my professor has he has been doing tissue culture since 1980, and back then they didn't have hood flows at all. It was just a really big room, with not a lot of movement around the person doing the tissue culture because of contamination. So I feel if you have a clean area, um, that you're not sitting there breathing as you're doing, because you can't breathe unless you have a mask on. But you should never breathe inside of your tissue culture medium or even on your plant material. But you don't necessarily need a hood flow. It's just an extra precaution to help reduce your contamination.
Uh, I see a question on Instagram, and they're asking. He says, "Can you mix genetics?" And I think what he's asking is for storage, maybe. I don't know. Hey, flower power. She. My fault. Flower power. Re-ask. Put the whole question. Come over to YouTube and ask the question, because this way I don't have to look down and I could be a little bit more like specific as to what you're trying to ask.
Yeah.
Um, so let me see what else do we have. Have you grown? I think we talked. Well, I will just throw the questions up. So I think that was what we talked about a little bit, but I'll let you. We'll get through these questions. So
I can't wait to grow the seeds out. I'm getting a little impatient. That's the hardest part for me of being a scientist, is like I want it to happen now. But so far it's been a month and it's completely expressing the phenols. And it's on my Instagram, the actual image, because it's a little hard for the phone. But it's expressing the phenol completely. And it even one of the ovaries, the stigma was like damaged, and the seed still like it still has an embryo and everything. It grew like it would normally, except it kind of leads me to believe that that might be a potential for someone that's had their genetics destroyed and they only have one stigma. They can still preserve it and allow it for seed to happen.
mm, the future, the future.
Yeah.
What do we have? If someone receives a TC cut, do they need a flow hood in it? Oh, I think. Well,
So if you get a TC cut, I always recommend. So there's this thing called thermal therapy, is where some people throw it in their microwave, but the agar won't work in the vigor of your cut. If you put it inside of the microwave, it will be reduced. So what I would do is take my TC, maybe put it like in like a tent like that has an opening, and just let it sit there just in case, because heat can help eliminate potential like virus contamination. Um, but taking your TC and TCing it again when you get it, and they're sterilizing it, unless the person has done all the precautions, because pathogens can carry over if you don't take the apical meristem, like this really really small cut, and actually do it correctly. You can still get a pathogen and not know until maturity of your sample. So tissue culture is just like a clone. When you take a clone from like a mother plant, it's it's like a it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing, unless your medium that you have is expressing one of the plant growth hormones a lot more than another. It might cause a little mutation, but if you do it correctly, it's just like taking a clone and preserving it somewhere that it can't have, like, won't be at risk for it, like damage or pathogens.
that
Uh,
was her. That was her. That was on Instagram. She came over here, so I think she tried to.
so are you talking about when I fertilized and created the seeds, or are you talking about tissue cultures?
I think
If
she's talking about the seats. I'm
Okay,
pretty sure because I think she might have missed the beginning where we were talking about you actually doing breeding. So you might have missed that flower power, but I think that's sort of what she might have missed. So
so I one of my good friends is a breeder, and he gave me some pollen to work with, and my other friend here in Oregon gave me some plant material. And I didn't really like sit there and chase like phenos or anything. I just simply wanted to see if the experiment would work. And when I pollinated the stigmas and allowed them to have a few days to actually go through the whole process of fertilization, I tissue cultured them afterwards and placed them into the medium. So it, yeah, I didn't really have a structure to it.
Okay. This is from in-house. Which mediums are you betting? Can you spell, bro? Can you like spell check before? No. What medium are you getting best results with?
So I get my plant growth hormones from Plant Cell Tech because I tried getting some from Amazon and had someone gave me their last cuts to TC, and I had got some Amazon kit and completely contaminated everything. So I would suggest making sure that you have a reliable source, that you're getting these plant growth hormones, that they have an accreditation, so that you know exactly where your chemicals are coming from. But there's a lot of different protocols or recipes for mediums. I just created my own because I would rather know exactly how much the concentrations are versus just buying whatever and just mixing it just for my own research purposes.
So your own
Yeah,
is the medium you're getting the best results with.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, let's see. What else do we have? What else do we have? Okay. Here's one more from in-house. Oh wait, that's the same one. Oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, he spell checked. He fixed it. He fixed it. I was down a little further. Um, okay. Oh, there's Carly. So this is another. I should have had both of you. Both of you guys would have been cool to have on at the same time because she is a tissue culture person as well, and I've had her on before. So this is from Carly, who does TC.
Sure.
Which for you can see what it says.
Yeah. So I try to make the protocol that will allow for all strains to be able to TC, because in the beginning I try to just take some generic medium recipe or protocol off of the internet and apply it to what I was doing. But what I had noticed is that not all strains were able to tissue culture, and a lot of the ones that were struggling, I noticed had a lot of burnout on it, on the leaves, and a lot of mutations. So I feel that when you're actually doing the calculations for your mediums, to reference what's online, but try and just keep your PGRs at a reasonable, not too high in concentration, because you got to remember it's purity. If you're using something a pure chemical, it's you have to think of the cell osmotic, like the pressure in the cell, because a tissue culture is just taking cells and putting them over into a medium. So just try and think of the pressure within the cell and on the outside of the cell.
Let's see. We got. Oh yes, I was before I saw this. I was about to say you might want to just like DM and go at
Yeah.
it because
Yeah.
she is cool. Like I'm telling you, you guys would definitely be cool. So this is what she said though. Yeah, we should definitely wrap. So you know,
Just add me on Instagram because I'll probably forget. So
there you
just add
go,
me on
Carly. Hit her
Instagram
up,
and we'll
man. Hit
talk
her
about
up
it.
for sure.
Yeah. And
Um,
especially if you're in Oregon, like I love nerding out with people. So
all right, so I feel like okay. So let's talk about like explain exactly for the people that don't know, break it down, tissue culture, what the idea is, what the end result is, why it's being done. um, I think that we should start there because I think
so
we're pretty much, and if you guys have any questions, put them in through that question, your little place where you guys can put them, and we'll throw them up on the screen. In the meanwhile, we'll talk about tissue culture a little bit because we really answer some questions but didn't really talk about you know why, how, when, all that.
um so I feel tissue culture is a really, really good way of preservation of your genetics. With all the pathogens going on right now, especially like the hoblating viroid, is something that everybody's worried about, like everybody. And to reduce contamination, like say if you have a pathogen or you're thinking you might have one in your plants, but you want to clone, you an apical cut would be like the best way. And I can't explain it, but let me see 1 second. So just for reference, an apical would be like this part of your plant. So the very tip shoot, you would take just a very small cut from here, and it looks just like a flame down the middle. And that is an apical micro cutting. There's micro cuttings in tissue culture, which is basically a clone. And there's embryo rescue, where if you have seeds with very low germination rates, you just kind of extract the embryo and put it in a medium that will uh, give it the nutrients it needs, as well as push it to actually germinate and grow. I'm still struggling with that a little bit. I have some seeds from Africa and some seeds from like 1997 or something that I've been working on.
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's driving me a little nuts, but I almost got it down. They're starting to the main leaves are starting to pop.
Okay.
So it's taken me 3 months to have it, but these seeds had a zero germination, so I'm kind of proud of it.
Oh yeah.
uh, and there's other types of tissue culture methods. It just all depends on what it is that you want to do, and if you're preserving your genetics, if you're breeding your genetics, it just depends what method to approach. But if you're just doing just micro propagating and you don't really, you just want to cut it and put it in a box and store it for next season, and you're not too worried about pathogens, you could just cut a piece of the top shoot and you'll be good. But if you
I,
want to, go ahead.
no, no. Finish. I was gonna say something. I was gonna say something about. I was gonna let you know that Carly, that person, the
Yeah.
Ohio, she does tissue culture jewelry, and you have to check it out.
Oh
You know,
wow,
like
that's really good.
yeah, like like little, obviously clones, like in jewelry. It's fucking the coolest thing ever. So you have to check it out. You just have to
I'll
check it
have
out.
to. I'll have
Yeah,
to get paired for seminars when I go there.
absolutely, man. The earrings are badass. Like, yeah, and they're like, they're that big. It's fucking cool. Um,
It's
I
so
just I
cute.
figured you might. Yeah.
That's so
Um,
cool.
but I would, on the HLVD, like, you're also going to be doing testing for that. That's what you said, right? Or are you doing testing? Like, have you found it running as rampant as it seems, or how do you feel about it? And
So
you finding in seeds too, you know?
that, yeah,
Okay.
I've been reading quite a bit of paperwork on different like research that's been done on it. But we just purchased the machine to be able to test for it, and we got it at a nice discounted rate. But usually the machines go for like 20K minimum.
Oh, okay.
So we just got that, and there is a process that you can do in tissue culture called rejuvenation of genetics. It's where you kind of take a piece of the apicals. I do all the apicals, the auxiliary buds as well as the apicals, and just continue once it grows out to like about this much and it has a few apicals. I'll take those apicals and re I guess transplant them, but put them in
Okay.
another medium and just continue on until I have something that's not expressing anything at all. And it should be any day now. Our machine's here, but once that comes, I will be testing for that. There's a few producers that I'm currently working with that are very worried about that. It's a really
Yeah,
big.
no,
It,
definitely. People should be worried about it, and that's why I ask. I hear, I've had I've had a lot of people come through, and when I ask about seeds, because and there's some, some say yes, and I know it is, but I guess my question is, if you were doing testing, I was curious, like, you know, how much you're actually finding in seeds, clones. Like, are you really seeing it a lot, like that?
So the research that I've been reading says that 30% of seeds are actually expressing hop latent viroid, and that's a really, to me, that's a big number.
That's a very big number. That's
And
a third of all seeds.
that's really scary, especially for producers who are dumping all their resources into operational costs as well as time into, these seeds. So that's another reason why I'm trying to do this micro seeds, to see if by breeding something that has it, because I feel that even though something expresses that virus, it doesn't always visually express it. And if your yields haven't dropped, it might be something resistant. But right now, I'm working with a few different materials to see if the pathogen will carry over to the offspring, especially in vitro. Because of the way the in vitro is done, it might reduce it, but I'm not completely sure until I finish the research.
Okay.
Um, but there's, I think, 6 to 7 states, and they're all mainly on the West Coast that are. They've asked me if I've done the testing yet, if I'm ready to do the testing, because they have quite a bit of plants that have that, and so that's why I started to offer storage here of mothers and rejuvenation of genetics, because I know there's one company in California who's doing the rejuvenation of genetics. It's like 5K for like one strain, and that's not.
Yeah. I think
It's
I had a guy come on. I might be a guy. The guy that was on with me like months ago, and he does that. And he was saying that I'll pay pretty much that same price, and I was just like, it's a lot. Like, it's a lot. I mean, in a big facility, somebody like they don't. But like, to the average person, that's somebody that wants to save something, somebody that has something. That's a lot. It just it's a lot of money to somebody like that.
it
Somebody
it
like
is a it's a lot of money, and I did all the math to see how much materials and my time that it would take in order to do that. And I have gave a producer an estimate for like to rejuvenate, store, and have his clones ready for springtime. And I think it was like 2,400 samples. It was
right.
only it was under $11,000, and that's like
Okay.
for a year's work a worth. And it's not just the storage fees or the processing fees. It's like everything, including my pay.
Oh
So yeah, it's not a lot, and I
no.
do it based on how many samples, because I have to look at the materials, and the materials were like 5 to 6 grand, and that's for a lot of samples. So I'm trying to keep it to like a price that everyone could afford it, because at the end of the day, if I'm saying that I'm going to help the community, I can't just put these large amounts and exclude the rest of the community. So I want to make access to everyone, because that's how you weed out the bad genetics and the actual pathogens, is by allowing everyone to have access.
That's her jewelry, real quick. I'll put that up there.
Thank
That's
you.
her jewelry, just so you know. Biogems ST, Biogem STC, Biogems TC, Biogems TC is her jewelry. Um, no, but absolutely. I mean, that's so. Are you going to be doing? Okay, in your lab, are you going to be doing male female testing, and you're going to eventually be doing HLVD? So, is that going to be something that's open to the public? Like, how once you do start doing that, do you have pricing set up on the male female testing yet?
So
And
all my pricing is based on the producer or the breeder, because I can't go and charge like an individual who's just doing for themselves, like medical breeding, just for personal. I can't charge up the same amount I would charge a producer that's once, you know. So I try and do it based on the need and what the desire is for the project, and kind of have that.
um, I think that I think, see, I'm a little bit back. And in house, what was that too? The source on what number on the 5,000, or is that what was the whole question, man? I think I might have missed some of it. So,
Are you talking about the lab for that pricing?
am I or is he?
I think I'm not
Okay,
sure if
that's what
that's what he's asking.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out too. I'm curious, when you do start doing those, what the pricing will be per test, and when that will, if are you doing that right now already? Are you already doing that, or?
So, like I said, I'm waiting for the one machine, but we just got the chemicals. All the chemicals that we have that we purchased that are just, I think it's 200 samples each for each chemical, because the different chemicals will identify the different pathogens. And for all the chemicals, I think it was like 5 grand.
Okay. Okay, so he's saying, I guess you see, meristem, and what's the source of the infected seed percentage?
So I, I stay on Google Scholar and ResearchGate like more than I do Instagram, and that's where I get all my information from, is from one of the publications. And if you want, I can look for it and then send it to you. Uh, but everything, all the numbers that I get are all from there. I stay reading a lot because the few producers I'm working with, they have been so wonderful. I want to make sure that I give them the best information that I can.
Yeah, it looks like you guys are on the same page, because it looks like Carly said it, and then in-house said he found it, and I think she even sourced it right there. That might be the source right there.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
guys all on the same page, guys.
yeah.
Um, yeah, exactly. There it is, right there. So, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's on the ACO. That's on the but the male female testing. Are you doing that yet, or is it the same machine? I don't know.
It's the same machine. So we have, I have a PCR machine, which is just for extracting DNA. Then the qPCR machine is the one that does everything, and the software will have to. So most of the genetic stuff that you'll be doing has software, and the chemicals or primers that you get have to go with that software as well as the equipment. So it's kind of, it was a, I'm thankful for the person I'm collaborating with. They bit the bullet and got it. So, but it's a really helpful item to have, especially
Absolutely.
if you're doing TCs and you're gonna do it. I feel in a professional way to actually help producers. That's something you might want, so that when you have a TC and you take it out of storage and you're ready to give it to the producers, you can be like, "Hey, I did testing for this. It came out whatever it is. Like, do you still want to move forward?" Because at the end of the day, like I said, they take all their resources, and I don't want to give someone a sample that is just trash.
So okay, so when a customer puts something in TC, so how long can it stay there? The medium, when does the medium need to be changed out? I mean, I'm just trying to throw some things, so you know because I feel
So
like there might be a lot of people in here that like know what TC is, but don't really have an understanding of what it is and what it takes to maybe run like a lab like yours with TC. Where, how big of a what can you store? In your lab, for instance, like how many clones can you store? And yeah.
So at the moment, I only work with three to four farms. So this is all because it's summertime, so there's really nothing to show there. Um, but I have these two autoclaves that um, I use to oh, I cannot talk. Decontaminate everything at a level to deal with the amount of producers, because uh, it's not easy, especially I'm just one person running the whole lab.
Welcome to no. I feel you, like, for real. I get it. I totally get it, man. But
But
yeah.
I usually take my TCs and I maintain them every 3 weeks. So I'll go through them and check to see if they're expressing anything under the microscope, as well as just kind of looking at it physically. But every 3 weeks, I move it into a different medium. If they're just staying in storage, I don't necessarily have any promoters there to help it grow, because it's just sitting in storage. It just has like nutrients that it needs, so it can continue to grow and not die. But
Right. And how long, like how, um, once you put something in the TC, how long can it stay? I mean, I would assume as long as you like, really, right?
yeah,
So how, like the agar, that's the medium that it's in, correct? It
yeah,
would be an
yeah.
agar. So how long does that stay? Is that something you need to switch out after a certain amount of time? Just a little like insight into how the lab actually works in TC.
So I've let medium sit just to kind of see how long it'd be there and how long it takes to degrade. And so far, I've seen it takes about a month or two, and if there's this much TC in the magenta boxes, it'll be down to that because of the plant's consumption, and it depends on how many samples you have in your TC. Usually, I'll do a cuts, and whenever I have the clippings come in, I'll take the cuts uh, and put maybe, depending on the size of the apicals, I'll go from smallest to or biggest to smallest. And once they've been in culture for 3 days, they're already pretty decent size. So I just then, after 3 days, if they're already grown really well, I take each one and put it into a singular box to reduce the amount of contamination possible so that it has its own food and it's not fighting for resources, it's not being stressed out, just. But usually every 3 weeks I maintain all of them, and during the winter time I think I have like 300 to 400 cultures in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, what else do I want to ask? Can't remember. I just had something on my mind. It'll come back to me. Let me see. I'm going to see if there was any questions in here. Oh, well, go to the post. So her IG handle, you could say what it is, but
It's
probably
super
want to.
long. It's like
It's
Addie
super.
underscore the underscore geneticist underscore backup.
So it's exactly what I have. See how it says with? If you put underscores underneath that with backup, you're going to be good. You're going to be good to go. What else do we have? I mean, I'll put all your guys' questions up. That's fine.
So I have a bachelor's degree in crop and soil science with plant breeding and genetic focus. I am a PhD candidate, majoring in plant physiology with a minor in biotechnology and a teaching certificate. I have 11 years working in agricultural industry, 8 years working in the cannabis industry, uh, working anywhere from horticulture to ag. And then I have 4 years experience research with the university as well. So I've published a few papers. I've been in magazines and stuff with the university. Um, Kind of went from nothing to something, but I've tried
Let's
to.
go. Let's
I
go.
tried,
I mean, come on.
but I try to get my accreditations and everything because eventually I'd like to actually get certificates out to people for taking the classes whenever I do teach them. But yeah.
All right. So, okay. Damn, I still cannot remember what I was going to say. I cannot remember what I was going to say for some reason.
So I do want to say there are a lot of Instagrams that I've, well, not a lot, there are a few Instagrams that I've come across and I've seen them do cuts for tissue culture. And when they do the cuts, they're not properly explaining or answering questions for that matter, but why it is that they do the cuts. And they're not telling people that when they do the cuts at that level, like a whole stem, that you have that potential to bring over a pathogen. And so if you're going to take a micro cutting and actually preserve it, make sure that you have some way of being able to magnify your vision so that you can take a proper cut if you truly want to preserve your genetics and the right way. But if you're just trying to cut and not really too worried, you know that you have a good healthy clipping, then you can go ahead and do it that way. But always just take caution with your cuts,
Okay, so when you do get this and you're able to start to do testing, um, is this something that's going to be available? Like, will people be able to send samples into you? Is that going to be a thing?
Yeah, so I have an OLTC building and business, and then I have a separate business. So as long as I stay within, because I'm a mom at the end of the day, so as long as I stay within reason and policies,
Okay.
unfortunately, stupid policies, and I'm totally fine of doing testing. It's just I have to be very cautious.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
So now, if somebody wanted to, put something in in the tissue culture with you, what is that process like? What would they have to do?
So I could either teach them how to do it, so if they wanted to do it, but some people just kind of want to pay for the service. And like I said, it just all depends on if if they want a lot done or if they just want a few. It's I usually do the math of how much everything costs, and I try and do it if um, the pricing at the quantity. So even with the chemicals, I'll take whatever price for whatever it is. Like one of the chemicals, I think it's $60 for the agar or something. So if and I know how much agar it takes to make 20 boxes. So I'll just do the math and then give that person a percentage of whatever chemical price so I can make sure that every package is completely tailored to that person's needs because I don't want to go and charge someone ridiculous amount of for chemicals that they're not going to use the whole thing.
All about the community. I like it. I like
Yeah.
it.
Got to take care of
Um,
each.
so here's a question right here. How long does it take to remove something like HLV with tissue culture? And I guess that would be the clean. That was what we spoke about cleaning. That would be that. So
So I haven't tested, so I can't really say completely because I haven't done a test and I don't want to just say something. But from visually looking at the samples, I had a sample that was completely horrid and it had a lot of pathogens. It took me 4 months to get it to TC without expressing anything. And I haven't been able to test it yet because, like I said, I don't have the machine. But once I start with my machine, I'll be able to actually give the number. But I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to mislead anybody.
So can you go over that process a little bit? I mean, I know you spoke about it a little bit, but can you tell us about the process a little bit more as to how you go from infected clone to where you get to the point where it's clean?
So if I was to take someone's material or their plant, I would first test it. Once I tested it for the everything the panel wise to see exactly what is in this plant, then I would proceed forward uh, by taking the actual true apical meristem at the top and nothing else, because everything else would have maturity and the cells would be organized. So with hop latent viroid, it's a viroid, so it needs a host in order to move forward. And by taking apical meristems, the very tip little flame at the very top, it'll reduce the amount of probability that you have to carry that over into your cultures. But if for some reason you have one cell that's actually mature that has that hop latent viroid attached to it, when you do your TC, then it's going to just move right over. And you
Okay.
wouldn't know until you actually test.
So then you would actually grow it out. You would actually have to take that at that point, grow it out, and take the Mary stem again, right?
Yeah.
Is that the idea of what you're
Yeah.
doing? The process, basically. Okay.
Yeah. I usually do it for 3 or 4 generations, is
Okay.
kind of what I considered, because it usually by then there should be way less potential to actually have that.
Okay. And if it didn't at that point, you would keep going, obviously, until so it could take. That's a general idea where you think it would go, but say, you know, you're at the fifth generation, you're at the fifth time, and it's
Yeah.
not, you're going to keep going until you obviously get to where you need to go.
So if I'm at the third generation and I let it grow and just say like I test it and
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing at all presenting and I feel comfortable with everything, even the genetics, there everything's looking nice, then I would tell the producer like, hey, I finished it at X amount of time. Do you want it to stay in culture or do you want me to bring it out of culture so you can put it back into production? And they would let me know if they want it put back into production or just a store.
Okay, that is very cool. Okay, so where are we at? Let's see. That seems. I think there's a couple more questions. See, I told you I would say this earlier, and I'm just going to point it out. We're at like 9 minutes left. You see how
Okay.
quick it goes? It
It
flew.
went really
It
quick.
went, it went really quick.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, here's one. Would you recommend the Athena kit to store like 10 moms, or is it a waste of money? I like I I think it is. He said so. It's a little bit of a double question. Like you're on the fence there, but let's see.
So I have never used a kit. I have someone who tried to use a kit and they weren't too happy with it. Um, but like I said, I would highly suggest the plant cell tech. They have um, all of your PGRs that you need, and I believe they have a protocol on their website for mediums, so you don't have to even create your own. I just prefer to, but um, I've never used Athena, so I don't want to bag on their product.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, and you sort of ended it with like I would. You sort of get yeah. So, um, shout out to Chad. Chad. Nice to meet you, Chad. I don't meet many Chads, so I'm just gonna give you a shout out just because your name is Chad right off the rip. Shout out to Chad, and yeah, I think that's exactly correct. I'll let her, respond to that too. But yeah,
So the apical meristem, there's there's a root apical and there's a shoot apical. Um, I have tried a little bit to experiment with root apical, but it's a little bit harder for me, anyways. But I'm talking about at the top of your plant, the most uh, immature part of the tip top of your shoot is the part that I'm talking about. Not the shoot tip apical because there are two, but I never really do the roots. I don't feel like there's a need to unless I'm trying to amplify something in it.
okay, I see what you're saying. The root tip, and that would be like almost the reverse of what we were talking, like the opposite almost.
Yeah,
Somewhat.
yeah.
Um, Great question. What's up, Chad? Glad you made it. I guess that's that Chad. Man, which Chad you all talking to, man? You got me confused now. I'm not used to having another Chad in here. Uh, Sent me a link, so I tuned in. That's what's up. Chad Westport, I think he was talking about regular shoot up. Charlie, Chad Westport. Man, they all love you, Chad. I mean, there's two of us they all finally love. It's about time. All right, what else do we have? Great to see you, Carly. Uh, Same Chad. It's always man. Yeah, talking. Let's see what else do we got. Basically, same process of repairing a dudded clone organically, except you take the clone from healthy clone until the line is repaired. Got into the proper light. Okay, so we're not going to really go into that. I really wanted to because we only have 6 minutes left. Really, if you guys have any more questions on TC, HLVD, if you guys have any questions you want to get in last minute, I would say get them in now because we are just about done, and then we'll have Green Bodhi coming in next, and then we'll finish the night out with in-house.
And everything here is the lighting and everything's correct and the environment. Because if I have one thing off, it throws everything off, especially with the autoclaves inside. Nice.
Man, they all it's okay. All right, here we go. Oh no, that's to him. I'm just trying to get through the rest of the questions, guys. If you have any more questions, I'm trying to go through them right now. Feel free. Dark, you got to bring Westport. Hey, Chad, you want to come in one day? I'd love to have you come in. Chad and Chad, let's make it happen. I just see the comments, so we can make it happen for sure. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have no more questions, we will finish out with. I'll look back through and make sure we didn't miss any. All right, looks like that's pretty much it. So we have about 4 minutes left. Is there anything that you want to say? Some words of advice to the people out there. Anything that you want to say at all? Feel free. Let them know.
Just, I mean, be careful with your tissue cultures. That's it. Just if you're gonna do it, just try and do it right. That's the only thing. But if you have any questions, you can always reach out. And sometimes I go live with while I'm cutting, so people can actually see how to do the cuts. Because just I want to make sure everyone's informed.
Well, can we have you come back and do that? Can we do a whole nother,
Yeah,
little something where we actually watch you put something in tissue culture? Is that a possibility or? Okay.
definitely. I have to probably fix this. I have a 360. I just don't know how to use it. So I have to figure out how to do that so I can make sure that you guys can view everything correctly. But definitely, I'm totally down with
Cool.
that.
Yeah, I feel like we talk about tissue culture or people hear it all the time, and not everybody has seen it done or knows really what it is. I mean, listen, some of us, there's, people obviously do. They know exactly what it is. But there's
Yeah.
so many people out there that don't, and I feel like that is sort of like the next, it's somewhat new. I mean, it's been going on, but with cannabis, and this is how you could store. Like, if you guys find cuts that you want to save, you don't
Yeah.
have to like keep your mother, and I feel like we didn't even really touch. This is why I said when we get to the end of these, it's like we could definitely continue with this whole nother line of why to do it, like for the home grower, for somebody that finds something that's just like absolutely insane, and you're like, damn, I don't have any room to keep this, mom. This is why you put things in TC and it's there and it stays. But that's a whole other conversation that we will have that next time.
Yeah.
We'll have that conversation next time because we have 2 minutes left. And I'm basically going to say, I appreciate you, man. It was a quick, amazing hour.
Thank
And I already said I'm going to say this. I knew it was going to come. I definitely want you to come back because, when the hours fly by like that, come on. Like, we could definitely sit here for a whole nother hour, probably, and it go by just as quick as hour one. So
you. Yeah.
definitely want you to come back. You need to get with Carly because she's another badass TC person. I think you guys will vibe really well. Should pin her IG. I have to type it out. Here, hold on. Let me see if I can type it out real quick. Okay. I will type it out. So you guys make sure you give her a follow on Instagram. I suck at typing, so bear with me. I'm making sure I'm spelling it correctly, too. Wait, it's all underscores, right?
Oh, me?
Like,
Yeah.
uh, and it's backup, right? Backup hit?
Yeah.
Just backup, right?
That's underscore backup.
All right, tell me if that's right. I'm going to throw it up on the screen. There we go. Is that? Oh, wait, I put.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. That's her IG, guys. Make sure you guys go give her a follow. I'm going to let her go because we're about a minute left. We have Green Bodhi should be coming in any second. And
Thank,
again, I appreciate you, man.
thank
I'm
you for
so glad
having
you
me.
came on. So glad.
Oh, you guys have a great one.
I appreciate it. And when you come back, we'll talk about, hopefully you'll have the machine by then and we can get into that as well. We'll talk about all that. So
Definitely. Have a good one.
thank you. Have a good night. Thanks. All right. Well, that was awesome. She's cool. Definitely like to have her come back. So we just gotta wait on Green Bodhi. Let me send him a message real quick. Oh wait, I didn't realize what time it was. We started a little bit early is what it was. What's up? Let's go. You finally made you finally made it. Let's go. So good to see you too. Yo, that was a really good hour. I completely forgot we started about 5 minutes early. I probably should have kept her a little bit longer, but Green Bodhi should be here in about 5 minutes, guys. I completely forgot we started a little bit early. You know, we went on an hour, had the timer right there, but we did start a tiny bit early. So hey, I hope everybody got some good information out of that. I'm glad we got another chat. He's probably gone, but you know, we make that happen sometime. We'll make that happen. Man, you should have said, what you mean? You gotta say, you gotta come in and say hi, throw up some, you know what I mean? Let me see some purple hearts. Let's go. Oh shit. And Carly. Yes, Carly. I already told you I want to have you come back, so maybe we do it next week if you're not busy. I'd like to have you come back. I feel like tissue culture, you know, like I said, like that conversation could have went on for another hour. So yeah, we got to have Carly come back for sure. Like I said, Carly has the amazing, badass TC jewelry. She got earrings, necklaces. Y'all check her out. Biostem TC. If you want to put it up, I'll throw it up there one more time, Carly. No problem. All right, for everybody over on the gram, everybody on Instagram, y'all should just come over to the YouTube. There's about 15 of you guys over on Instagram. I see Candyman. I see Angry Fruit. I see John, Hazel1. I see Jonathan Carter. I see Tino, West Coast, Aloha, Mr. Chippewa. I see all you guys over on the Instagram. You guys can come over to the YouTube and hang out over here so I can see your guys' questions. So there's the biostem right there. Let's go. Yo, don't give me the finger over there, bro. I see you, Jonathan Carter. I gotta look down to see your ass, but I see you, fool. I see you, bro. All right, let me send a message to Green Bodhi and let him know we're ready, we're live, we're ready to go. And then, like I said, we'll have him for 1 hour. Hey, man, do me a favor, guy. Yo, what are you throwing that? I see a candy, man. Yo. Oh, shit. Okay, I got to restart the. Wait, who? What little bro? Shit. That's my little bro. What's up? That's so funny. Wait, you talking about Jonathan Carter? Nah. That boy better watch himself. That boy better watch himself. Tino, too. Y'all better watch yourselves. Wait, I got to restart. Hold on. Let's get back onto the Instagram. I can't see y'all right now. I got to restart this. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Copy. It's the only thing. I should have just did it on the 6th page, really. Because if I would have did it on the 6th page, it wouldn't have stopped. Like, that's the annoying part of it. All right, this must be it right here. Hold on. All right, let's get this back on. 4. And paste. All right, we're gonna get back on the Instagram. It sucks that I have to restart it like that all the time. What you mean? What you love? Yo, what about me? I get no love? Wait, I get no love? Oh shit! Hell nah! Hell no! Oh shit! All right, go live. Let's get back on Instagram. There we go. We should be good now. We should be back on Instagram. There we go. Where's the fucking? Oh, there we go. All right, now we back. No soup. There we go. I mean, I just need a little love too. I mean, just a little bit, okay? A little bit. Oh shit. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's my family, y'all. My family right there. That's real. That's my family. Just know that. All right, where's Green Bodhi? Let's see. I'm gonna see if he is. He should be coming in. Oh, there he is right there. Shit. I'm about to send you a message. I see you down there now. All right. We good. Right on time. All
What's
right.
up, brother?
Not much, man. How are you doing tonight?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you absolutely fine. You can hear me good?
Fuck yeah, perfect.
All right, let's go. Perfect.
Good.
So let me see. All right, so I'm gonna let it. I just restarted it on Instagram. Let me tune in and make sure people know we're over here. It's sort of weird. You should be able to see comments on the side. Can you see the comments over there? I'll throw them up on the screen no matter what.
Yeah, I can see one comment like right like at the base of our screen.
Yeah, I put that one up there. I'll wait for another one. We'll leave that up there until we get a new one to pin up there. So so we just had a really good hour. We talked about tissue culture. It was really cool. She was cool. I don't know if you tuned in and saw it at all, but it was a
Was
nice.
it?
It was a good hour. It was yeah. We had a geneticist on, and we really got into tissue culture, and we touched on HLVD a little bit. I feel like that's something that we should talk about. But let's talk about you a little bit, man. So, for anybody that doesn't know who you are, I always like to start it out with you just sort of introduce yourself. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows who you are, but for anybody that doesn't, now they will.
Well,
I'm sure
well,
they
I'll wait on the bong hit then.
will. All right, good.
My
Because
name's John. I'm the owner of Green Bodhi. We do a lot of work with breeding, holding really clean cultivars for a lot of years, and kind of just a beautiful stable of old school genetics and new school stuff too. But then kind of more taking pride in kind of keeping a stable of things that we appreciate from the last couple decades that I think people are going to appreciate in this onset of the future of the industry, and breeding into all those, kind of taking some of the foundation strains and bringing them back into the new school and verified classics. It's kind of been at least on a breeding note, that's kind of our forte. Really, we have a lot of really good relationships with a lot of cool breeders, so there's a lot of access and a lot of community aspect of camaraderie in a lot of ways. So kind of take pride in that, not having any enemies and shit like that. You know what I mean? And just really just trying to do good work. And we do a lot of consulting in organics, and basically really this next couple years we're really going to focus on giving information to the home grower, really, because teaching the big grows, it's really, it's cool, but really teaching the home growers kind of like has a different essence to it. And really and what I've noticed is you can give someone that's just getting started the right information in an hour or two, and they're fucking dialed, and just kind of, so really I kind of take pride in that aspect of teaching people to do it at the level we do it in a really short, concise way and direct way. And I mean, we've taken all the information now, and just now might as well give it back to the people, like fucking
yeah.
the MSOs aren't really it's like
No, like you just now, and
it's not a
this has
thing.
been the basic essence of like the last couple Wednesday nights too, is that like the home grower is the most important. Like the facilities, all that. That's to us that actually give a shit. It all well, I will just say it this way: it all starts with the home grower. It just does because
Everyone started
and
at home, bro. Like everyone that, if you love
right,
weed, you for sure figured out how to do something in your closet at one point or another, or on your fucking windowsill, or on your deck. Like
100%, man. Like
period. If you love it.
on the windowsill. I feel like the windowsill at one point was the beginning for us all. Like on the windowsill.
Dude, my first seeds were popped in a spider plant in Eugene in '96 or beginning of '97, and I fucking just threw them in the spider plant and they popped. So I was like, gotta build a setup in my closet for these fucking plants.
Like that was it, man. We would be so fucking stoked like if we got a bag of kind bud, whatever, everybody called it something different. We called it crippy. It was kind bud, whatever. We would fucking find a seed, bro, and it was like gold. Like that was gold right there. Like you were like,
real,
I
man.
am gonna figure out a way to fucking grow this out because, few and far between. So hard to come by back then too. And then like the conversation just started out, you doing the preservation work that you're doing, man. Like, the Northern Lights, like, bro, you just have genetics that people really, whether I feel like they're all looking for your genetics, when they come to me and they want old school, and I start to point people towards what you have, and that's exactly, it's fucking, there's not that many people doing it, man. A lot of people are working, the hype and this and that. I feel like you are one of those guys that I just have a lot of respect for because the preservation work that you're doing and the stuff that you're putting together. And, I see you have some new stuff coming out as well, which, we should touch on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the NL,
on, bro.
the NL, bro, it's like, I didn't know it was going to be so awesome, to be honest. I just didn't know. Guys, because basically Jim, Jaime Chiba, I got some NL5 from him. I run that. I really like it. The vigor's good. It's what I thought the classic NL would be, to be honest. But then, I've seen some stuff some other people are doing. It's whatever. But like Jaime, he rest his soul, but me. But anyway, so like, but it wasn't it wasn't at the boutique kind of designer level that I need what I'm keeping in the stable to be. I need it to look like hype weed, but it's fucking old school something.
But it's old school.
But anyway, so like I when I run it, I was like, what the fuck, I selected two, and one of them was straight purple Afghani. Like it looks like this strain called the One that was going around here, or which is basically just some Thai Afghani or some Afghani around here. But anyway, like, and the other one was like sour chem, and I was like, I couldn't even believe it. Like when I'm looking at them, like, how many strains do I know right now that look like this? If this is what was the precursor, it all makes sense. And what's crazy is I had Jorge over for a week or like 5 days. He stayed at the place. He just was coming through, and then he came through, and I talked him into staying for a while. And we were like just hanging, and it's really sick to have him at the spot and just kind of. I was making him rolling him spliffs.
Bro, he's like the man. Like that's the one that, like me coming up, that was it. We only had so much stuff that we could find, education wise and book wise, and he was one of them. So it's like that's fucking cool as hell, bro.
So like I had those fucking NLs pollinated out on the deck, and I was like, bro, I'm so hyped you're here because now you can verify. You tell me what's up, bro, because I know you know. And he's all like, okay, let's go out. We go out,
That's so cool, bro.
And he's all, oh my God, that's what I remember. And I was like, oh, sick. And then he tells me the story, bro. There's a lot of stories going around about NL5. The story I got from Jorge. This isn't my story. This is what Jorge told me. George, he told me this story. And so he's an honest man and I trust him. So I'm just relaying it the way. He said that his friend Steve in Seattle owned a grow store, This person, the other story, there's another story circulating that came from a person that went to high school with Steve.
Okay. Yeah.
There's this other person that has another story. That person went to high school with Steve, supposedly. I guess Steve is like the cool guy, fucking, like cruising. Ended up getting a grow store out of high school or something. Has this grow store, and supposedly every time someone buys a light, they give him a pack of these NL5 seeds.
Some seeds.
Every time, boom, boom, boom. So that's kind of how it got out. And then in turn, so then I got Ron Kreeft, bro. Like Jorge gets Ron Kreeft on the phone. Ron Kreeft was Neville's main apprentice. Dude, and this guy, like 65-year-old, good-looking Dutch dude, probably like 6'5", looks like Dolph Lundgren, but like more man version, Like, I'm like, oh, dude's a fuck. He's so nice, And he's like, hey, in his Holland voice, I'm not going to imitate it because I'm not good at accent imitation. But that being said, he was like, we had him on FaceTime and he's looking at the plants and this is the person that Neville gave his entire collection to before he passed. So this is who this person is. So now we've become friends because I don't know, it's weird. This kind of in this, as you know, in this weird kind of area of cannabis people,
Mm-hmm.
weird relationships and then sometimes you click with someone and you're already friends, bro, since you're vetted through this certain person and everything clicks when it vibes. It's like you already know each other for decades, it seems like,
That's how it
um
feels. That's how
and
it
he be
feels, man.
homeboy be sending me like, like pictures of like looking like a Jedi, like in the garden. I'm like just random out of nowhere, so I'm like, I feel, I
Look,
feel that kind of stuff makes me feel, I'm like, oh wow, this is happening for me in the industry. I must have like put in some time, and put in some heart, and I really want to do it for the people. Like it's been that way since the beginning because I feel like this plant can help people because it, made me turn from a gnarly fighter kind of asshole prick to more mellow and nice, like more
no
chill,
doubt, bro.
more
No,
cool,
no
I mean,
doubt.
like,
You know,
it's mellow, So anyway, so then he verified it. So basically, how I got these seeds was through Sinbud. They came through Melvinetics, who then previous was from Neville, So Neville's work. And Neville basically recreated it, this NL, this 89 NL, and from that work that was from Steve, got that thing. It pretty, it then came back. And so for me, that's why I'm like, if you go to my website and gbgenetics.com, if you go there, anyone fucking order, I fucking give free NL seeds, free NL5, just because like I'm just keeping the tradition alive, bro. Like
well, they were
free
giving away with
NL5.
lights. You might as well give them away with CPAP. I
Let's
mean,
go, bro.
honestly, like
Like we
I
should,
saw it.
bro.
That's what you sent me. I think it was the
Serious.
BX. Though. I think this, obviously this was
Yeah, the
before,
89
but
NLBX. So I basically back crossed it with the stud male that I have that I felt was the more chem sour one. And I have the two females. But they're potent and they're really good, and it's like I said, it smells like sour, it smells like chem, it smells like that kind of with acrid kind of, and then some other notes to it. They are very, and then when you start looking, okay, what's happening here, what's happening there, where was, even like from jack to fucking chem to fucking all of that, it has an NL in it, dude. It's just like you research the line and it's in there somewhere.
this is what I was just going to ask you. So I was about to say, because that's pre 91, right? The NO, right? NO will be pre. So,
NL5 was,
okay,
this is the 89. This is the 89,
exactly.
which was like what happened then. I
Pre.
know it was prior to that too,
Yeah. So what do you think? I mean, out of curiosity, like the chem, what do you think? What do you think that lineage would be? I mean, I think it's somewhat unknown. I know they say, what is it? Whatever. So curious
All I
what you
know is
think.
the terps that are in this NL5, 89 NL5, are the same terps that are in sour
Okay.
OG, Chem D, Chem 91. All those kind of, sometimes people say they're the same or not the same. I have both of them, but they seem a little different, but they look the same. Chem
They
D,
look
Chem
the same.
91, Chem 91, Chem Dog 91, Chem D, Chem 91. I'm like, I need both of
Right.
them.
Chem.
So, and they look the same to me. But anyhow, that being said, that smell with a different morphology, because these are kind of more stout and more structured and like, more like that. But you put in something else, what Ron told me is that the OG lines and all that, they come from the Syrian Kush.
Okay.
That's what he said. I don't know if that's true, but like that's what he said, and he knows better than me. I'm just like,
Right.
because he did a lot of this stuff for Greenhouse. He did a lot of this stuff for Sense. He did a lot of the stuff for. He was like when he's selling me pictures of what he's doing now, it's like a gigantic fucking grow. You know what I mean? Like, and he's running all the genetics in that thing, and it's like huge. Like I don't know how many, over 10 of these giant fucking things. And I'm just like, wow, man, my like 4 lighter downstairs is fucking.
Well, and that's a whole nother, a whole lot more work too than just this is my personal right here. I'm good. So
I have my medical and my hemp thing, to work those things and hold certain genetics that I can just, for launching and doing different things. It's like the way to keep it legal. And what I've done recently, I'm just like everything legit, keep it fucking square as fuck, because we're here, we're at the finish line here, man. We're close to the end. Seeds is chill, clones pretty chill, like it's all hemp, bro. It's all hemp,
it's
yo.
all him. It
It's all
is. That's
hemp.
what it is.
It's
That's what
hemp.
we do over here, man. That's what we
We're
do.
fucking hemp
So,
lords, bro. Like,
no,
what, dude? I don't even know
exactly.
what you're talking about, dude. Like, So anyway, then I got a medical too, though, just so I can do whatever
Right.
cross level, experimenting, and really also right now is to really be able to focus time and energy to helping the home grower and setting up consultation realities with people that I can give them a lot of information in an hour, and they get free seeds, and it's like a whole thing, and so people aren't far off a lot of times, and if they have a simple schedule, a simple program, a simple technique, because I've done it with the most simplistic method, 2 3 top dress, couple things. I've done it with like really accurate top dressing, presetting and all that, and prediction, predicting all the what I mean. It's like a whole different thing. And then I've done it with that and bottles and like all these different styles, just so I can tell people, hey, what's your reality, bro? You only have enough money for 2 boxes of fucking down to earth fucking 5-pounders. You'll be fine. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry.
Hey,
You
listen.
still be chronic.
Listen, I like, because we're touching on sort of this. I feel like, why don't you talk a little bit about, I have Brandon come on here a lot. I make him
Yeah,
come
I
once
love
a month.
it.
So I mean, I know you guys
We have
have,
a collab thing together.
yeah, talk about that a little bit and let the people know,
It's
because
sick,
that
bro.
goes
It's
right
sick,
into like simplicity, like that we talk
bro.
about it.
So
I think I
simple,
had him on
dude.
like 2 weeks ago, and we talked about it a little bit. So the people that are in here, you talk about it a little bit more, because you guys can go to Bokashi Earthworks and pick up some of this, what I'm going to let him talk about right now. And I feel like, why not let the people know that are in here? Because, hey, you're making things easier for people.
Yeah, dude, and for sure. And just use the code Green Bodhi and you get extra 10% off of whatever thing's going on, dude. So like it's good, on anything on the site.
I'm
Because he
thinking I
has
still have.
this Micro Plus that's really epic. It's kind of like an EM on steroids. So if you just use that with the humate fertilizer with these 2 other products, even if you didn't use those other 2 things, but I really recommend the microbe thing. But so the Micro Plus or EM, or if you're doing compost teas, stuff like that, like I anyhow. But these two, the veg and the bloom formula. The veg is bone, feather, and blood meal. Really simple, agglomerated with molasses, so a little pelletized, kind of time release, but it's breakdown within five, basically within 2 to 6 waters. It's completely like you need to recharge before that, but like if you water, it's pretty much getting active within a week of whenever you set it in, and then it has about a week or so, 2 weeks release time. So I'm trying to like you predict all that and then do your top dress regimen. No matter what you think, you just do it in your what and don't think too much, and just really. But
Don't
anyway,
overthink it,
so the
basically.
veg, that's the veg product. Really good, really simple. Pretty much the basic trio of what you're needing to set it off. And the bloom is a ash of sunflower ash and coffee ground ash, and so
Hmm.
and basically it's agglomerated molasses as well. There's some microbial stuff in there too, and really I mean, I do all my breeding stuff. I just use that. It's so fucking easy. I'm just like, depending on the size pot, teaspoon to tablespoon, once every week, every 10 days. If I'm just only doing water, not doing nothing else. And I do it with those 2 products because I have to test it. I said, what will the product be with just these 2 things if I'm doing it like fucking Karen in her fucking closet? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
just like well, after she took the kids to soccer practice, she like
right. Hey, is because this is on his site, right? I just want to make sure Green Bodhi is the code on his site, Bokashi
yeah,
Earthworks.
exactly.
10% off, right?
10%.
10%. All right, I
10%.
have this made up from last time. I just wanted to make sure before I put this up, so we could actually put that across the screen right there, so you guys could actually see that on the scroll now. You can go to BokashiEarthworks.net, Green Bodhi, and it's going to save you 10% off. So I'll leave that scroll up there.
Sick.
All right, so okay, there's a bunch of questions. Let's get to some of the questions. We'll get to some of these guys' questions. They've been up here. Um, let's see. What should we start with? We'll start with. Okay, here you go. Here's a good one. So I'll just put them up there. Everybody can see them. We're not on Instagram, so I don't need to read them out. If you could see them, we'll throw up some questions and you can respond to them.
Uh,
I'm like, should I read it?
yeah, no, that's sick. Yeah, because that's like what I like. So even my selection process is going to happen naturally because I like that. Even if it's got a heavy, like cushy hit, I still want that to be speedy. That's just, I don't want, I don't want downer kind of thing. That's not my style. So when I'm selecting certain, you know, all my selections won't, not say all, most of them won't have that. They're more on the upper end of, so they have that sativa effect, even though it's like Hazy Girl was, Platinum Girl Scout Cookie by Hazy Kush. And then the Hazy Kush, even the reason I selected that and did the work with that, because I was trying to create this really diverse high that is really like kind of, euphoric and speedy with a cushy back end. And that's kind of, so I wanted this sativa punch with this other euphoric kind of cushy aspect. Not like now this current day gelato gas. I mean like OG Kush and that
Like,
kind
oh, gee, yeah.
of, like the ones that like, or, you know, we had some strains here. When I created Hazy Kush, I was trying to recreate the Big Sur Holy Cut that was going around Eugene in the late 90s, early 2000s. I let it go and I didn't realize I might have been the last one holding it. So, you live and learn.
Oh, that sucks. Okay. You do live and learn. Now you know.
Yeah, I was one of the last ones holding like Trinity around too. There's some other guys got it too, but like, I let that
Yeah,
go.
I hear people saying they have it, but I don't
This
know.
this new cut of trend that's going around isn't Trinity. It's
Okay.
like it's Future Trend, which was
Okay.
I think it might have been an S1 or something, but it came right as Trinity was fading out. That came in, and
Mm.
it was all it was a very tight knit community back then too.
Oh, for sure, man. I followed the Dead, you know that. So Trinity was big at the end of the Dead tour, you know,
For
back
sure.
in like
Want to go
the
to
early.
Snotty's 420 parties, and like stock up, dude. Like stock up on
Exactly.
glass, stock up on
Yeah.
everything. Hit the
Bro, he
lot.
was the coolest, man. I don't think people. Yeah, he was the coolest, bro. Like I remember, I'm not. That's a story. That's a whole nother conversation. But he is fucking. He was the coolest, man. He still is. But all right, so there you go. I'm just gonna
Most
throw these up till we get through some of them.
all the Hazy Kush stuff, really, to be honest, and really a lot of the work we're doing is kind of specific because it is tailored and custom to my palette and what I'm looking for. You'll see a lot of chem, a lot of OG stuff, but then this whole hazy line that I just keep rolling with because it's so good. And when you have a good female that hits all these characteristics, and that can be transferred into all this progeny, it's kind of, I feel like it's something that has to be continued, and that's why I feel so. The Hazy Kush Fem line is something that I think is, you know, that's why I haven't veered from it. I like it so much, and the strength, the high is pretty much the only strain that I've had in my lineup of head jars for since 2000 and I don't know 7, something like that. I can't remember. Maybe it was earlier 5, maybe it was a little later 8. I'm not really sure. But that being said, I've always had flower of it
That
because
says a lot. That says
it
a
fits
lot.
all these marks. It's like that terpene profile. It's got terpinolene, osmine, humulene. It's a very it doesn't smell like jack, but it has some simple, it has terpinolene, so but it has a more sweet and citrus and candy. It's really nice, and but the strength of it because it's got the OG Kush sage in it. Um, it's got the Trainwreck purple Affy in it. It's got golden pineapple in it. So that combo is just kind of just offers a lot, and these really creamy, candy, spicy, sweet, and the high is fucking epic, super euphoric. So that's why I was like, oh, if this reverse is good, I'm just gonna. And it did. The first time it was just dumped, and I was like, okay. And the pollen stays really good, so you can utilize it when you want to do certain things. It doesn't cross well to. You'll see that I don't put it to much many cushy things. I don't put it to OGs and stuff like that because I did that. I didn't like what happened. It kind of created this. I don't know. It didn't. It might have smelled good to some people, but like it wasn't my style that I'm going for. You know,
Right.
not to say it smelled like baby shit or anything, but like it had a sour kind of
Baby
thing that
shit.
wasn't like a good shit. You know, it wasn't good.
Yeah,
There's some good shit
not
smell,
good shit. Not good shit.
but it was like kind
Hell
of had a rotten smell of like sour kind of thing that wasn't. So anyway, I don't roll with that line that much, and so that's what you'll see a lot of. You know, I'm trying to blend stuff well, and the 89 stuff is blended really well, I think, and that's creating a lot of cool stuff that I did with the hazy. I put the hazy by the 98 Super Silver Haze because I'm, you know, bringing. Yeah, I just.
is it the same super? Do you know Professor? You know, do you know Professor P? Is it that same cut
Um,
or
I'm not
out of
sure
curiosity?
what cut he's using, but I use
Okay,
a different cut that I got from Dave, Crazy Composer.
okay, I was just curious. Yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah, no, Professor P's cool. He's chill. Last time we
yeah,
saw each
yeah,
other was chill. So,
yeah. He's chill. He was on with
and
me
he's
last.
made a lot of cool things. You know what I mean? He's a very
Definitely.
unique sphere in the breeding world and stuff. And I think that like it's cool because he does what he likes to do, and it shows. And he has his own little universe like we all do. You know, we all have this little group of splattered like stuff, but it's all in
Yeah,
our
for sure.
select here, you know, and it's sick, you know. It's like take a little
Yeah.
shotgun blast in space, and you're like, oh, look at all these fucking different
No,
breeders. They encompass
that's
everything,
what,
you know.
like, for me, it's really cool because I get to see, you know, like I have you this week. I had him last week, so
Oh,
it's,
sick.
you know, and we were just talking about the 98. I mean, his is was, you know, whatever. So I'm not gonna talk about his genetics, but still, it was, you know, it was a good conversation. It was a good, well, it was 98 also, and I'm like, I live, you know, I'm from, like, I graduated, I moved to Florida. I
Oh,
was
this
in
is
Florida.
89. This one's
Uh,
89.
his was Oh, his was the 98. You're right. His was the
This one's
98.
89. So it's like,
Okay, you're right. You're right. That's right. So that
but
is different. That is definitely different. But yeah, but I love the hazes. You know, that was my
oh
thing.
no,
Like,
Super Silver Haze. Oh shoot, sorry.
yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I mean that the 98 Super Silver Haze. I thought we were on the 89, and I was like, no, his
No,
is
no,
the
no, on the
98,
haze. We're talking
98
about
Super
the
Silver Haze.
haze.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
the
So
haze.
like, he was
Okay.
98. Yeah, that's sick. I didn't know he's working with that too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
The
sick.
high
I
key.
had to throw the hazy to it because it's fucking. That's the Super Silver Haze, bro. Like, cause I got the silver cut. Like, I got a Super Silver Haze cut in 2001, but
Yeah.
it wasn't Super Silver Haze. So like I didn't know what to call it. So we ended up I took it to Santa Cruz, you know, that and the lemon diesel at the same time. It was selling clones of it out of this place called Creme de Cana. And then I kind of like let it go. And then I named it Silver Surfer because of Santa Cruz. I'm like, oh, it's not Super Silver Haze, so I'll just name it Silver Surfer. And my buddy
Okay.
gave me some weed like 2016. You know, he's all, hey, bro, have you tried this Silver Surfer? I was like, what? He's all, check it, man. I got it from Cali, you know? And I was like, oh, holy shit, it's that weed, you know? I said, oh, that's what kind of locked in the name, even though it wasn't, I got it as silver, just
Right.
straight silver, you know? But then I did that thing and it came back like that. And I was like, well, I made it back here with Silver Surfers. I might as well keep the name.
We
Um,
usually just call it the silver. Like, I mean, like I said, I was, you know, I was in Florida back in a while ago when I first moved down there, and we would get a couple different phenos, and it was like, you know, it depended on what pheno it was, whether they call it just silver, and it would just be like literally like this beautiful, almost silver, like metal, like it had a metalness to it. I don't know how else to explain it. Like metal, like you'd open it up, you'd like that shit smells like metally, but it was fucking so good, right? And then the Capis, there was like a Capis, you know, that was my favorite. I think that people, I haven't really seen it since back then. Like, I know it's probably around, but I have yet to really see it. Everything I've seen that's supposed to be
this one's very fruit forward,
okay, and
very
that
heavy
would be definitely
forward.
different, you know? Yeah. So, but it sounds, yeah. Um,
But the one that I call Silver Surfers smells like UK cheese, kind of has like a
okay,
cheesy
okay.
smell with the little haze. It's really fucking weird, and it's super triked out. It's like way more triked out than these other ones, you know. But
I think yeah. I'm gonna have to. I'm about to pop some seeds here pretty soon, dude. And I have some for anybody that doesn't know. So most of the stuff we're talking about too, there is still stuff on the site of his. Whether you guys have been to the site or not, I would say some of the stuff that we're talking about tonight you guys could actually go to my site. I think you said you have a site as well. So really go to one of the two sites, man, and go check out, what's available. And I really want to know what's coming up as well. Like I said, I saw a couple things, but I'll talk to you about that. Unless you want to talk about what's
But
coming
dude,
up.
I think if you're not like stocked up on the NL stuff and the Afghani collab with Kagyu, bro, with Michael Frades, bro, like that shit's like,
What's up, man? See, I
dude,
listen.
too
It's
much,
hard,
bro. Like it's so good, bro.
bro.
The PHK Afghani one is fucking insane. Like
This is
everything's
what we
insane,
need. This is what we need. Okay, I need that.
bro.
Like
Yeah, dude, it's like this is what I've been working on the last bit, and now I've tested
okay.
everything. All the stuff's like what I want it to be, where I want to release and stuff, So I have, like Eric, my buddy Eric Nugshots, he took a lot of the photography for a lot of the new strains, and so I'm psyched, because
Okay.
it's a long time coming. When you make something, you have to test it all, blah 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 blah, and it's not like that shit ain't it ain't easy, It takes a lot of work if you're gonna do it right.
A long work. A
But
long
anyway,
time. That's
so it's all done and it's all chronic, and I'm really happy.
okay. Good. Okay, good. That means we need to talk. I say this like I could. It's just hard for me to keep up on everything. That's why I love having you guys come through, man.
And
Because like
I'm
I
not
do.
the type to sell it, bro. I'm not gonna be like, yo, what's up, bro?
No,
Got a
but
new
I'm just
I
yeah,
got
and
a new
I'm the worst at fucking like the emails and this and this. I'm just the worst, man. And it's like, but then we get in the situation right here, and I knew something was coming up, and this has to be, this is what I want to be able to offer the community, like my
more
community. These
organic.
people ask me about this shit all the time, and I'm like, I do my best to try to bring a lot of that old school stuff, and I like go out of the way to try to bring breeders on that are working like that, and you're definitely one of them. And I just feel like we have to get some of this newer stuff on the site for sure. Um, all right, so I know y'all waiting. I know you guys got questions, man. I'm gonna scroll down through these questions. Somehow we're already like the time flies, man. I feel like yeah, it's crazy. Almost 40 minutes into this somehow already. I don't know how. So, now, out of all your strains, what would you recommend to someone that's growing your genetics for the first time? You can read that. I'm going to look through the questions while you answer and throw questions up there. Just try to get through some of them.
I mean, it depends on if you want to grow fem or if you want to grow regulars. Like I always suggest regulars for people just because I like that. Personally, I think it offers a more, you know, rich genetic diversity that's, and instead of it being just like the mother more, it has this whole plethora of like, genetic stability, really, to be honest. I like to push fems because that's why I choose the hazy. It's really stable and stuff, but still, but that being said, um, what I've been really hyped on and is really easy to grow, and this PHK Afghani one, and then also the Sour Best Shit Ever by 89NL5. If you have those two strains, you pretty much have your whole day covered. You have your early part of the day till your mid afternoon, and then you have your nighttime covered. And like even Brandon's like he smoked the SBSD by 89. He's all, dude, I smoked that in a day. Fuck my whole day up, bro. I was like,
That's funny, dude. He's cool,
I,
man.
I
He's
love
fucking
Brandon. It's so
yeah.
fucking cool.
I went up
Yeah,
to
so,
Brooklyn just for the sour showcase, and I really just went up to be able to hang out and meet him, and just to be able to hang out, bro. And it was cool. It was really cool. So,
what
there you
first got
go.
me into growing. What was crazy is like I moved to Eugene. I had these badass allergies, and I fucking, I lived here when I was younger, and then I moved back when I was like 20, I don't know, 24, I think. And so I had really bad allergies, so I started growing all these peppers, and then all these different fucking species of peppers, and I was just eating them raw, thinking it was like, gonna like cure my allergies and shit. Then I started, you know, and then since I was having weed, selling weed, doing that thing here in Eugene, you just starts to, it just happens, And so, like I said, I dropped some seeds in a spider plant, and that shit happened from there. That one was kind of a joke because I had all those light leaks and I didn't know what I was doing. But the second time I got good genetics, built a cool box, and it was fucking. It's been pretty banger since then.
Oh yeah. Uh, not they be asking about the skunk. We're gonna put these questions up there.
Even know what the '90s Kentucky skunk is. I didn't know skunk. I never heard association of Kentucky and skunk in my life. But only thing I know skunky is our old school Trinity that we had. That shit was really skunky. It smelled like skunk, like a skunk.
100%. Yeah.
So once I find that smell again, I
Mhm.
got some seeds from Sinbud that came from Jim from Jaime Chiba, and they're the whatever 98 roadkill skunk, or not 98 but whatever roadkill skunk RKS, and I don't know what the year is on it, but
Yeah.
he gave me those. So I'm curious to see, I
They're
don't know.
on the lime side, I'm told. Like I got some. Okay, so quick story is right before the unfortunate fucking accident, bro. I had started to become friends with him, and we were going to start to put some of his gear
Mhm.
on the site. 517, who's in here right now, was like his protege, sort of. So 517 has continued a lot. Like, not many people understand that. Like, if you know who Jaime is, 517 was most of the stuff that 517 works is all Jaime stuff. So
Oh,
he has
cool.
been working a lot of those lines, and he was really close with him. That's how I started to talk to him. Right, like literally within 3 weeks before that, unfortunate motorcycle accident, like I had just started to become friends with him. So I believe that he has used the RKS from Jaime and some of his stuff, and I believe he says it's more on the lime side, if I'm not mistaken. So, I don't know. He can chime in on that
We'll
too.
see. I know that the skunk that I tried before wasn't skunky, this like the skunk was skunk number one or whatever the skunk
Yeah, no, I'm with you. The
skunk number
Trinity
one.
is the most. The
That
Trinity
shit
was skunky.
yeah, the Trinity was skunky, bro. When
Mhm.
once fucking week 5 hit, you're like sweating the load without carbon filters, bro. You like that. Your house smelled like over a block or a block and a half away, multiple houses. You could smell your fucking house, and that sucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That
no
sucked.
doubt, man. And I think that's why a lot of it is gone now because of that reason right there. Like back then, bro,
Dude,
we had to be fucking worried, like you couldn't
bro.
be like content knowing you pull up to your driveway and you can fucking, as soon as you get out of the car, it hits you, you're like, oh no, like,
Dude,
you know.
I had this stoplight. I lived at this place where uh, Cal Young and Oakway hit, and it's like a T. And I lived at this house like that was, like half a block from that intersection. And I remember one time, dude, I fucking pulled up and I could fully smell the house, and I was just like, that's some bullshit. This is like stressful, dude. You know?
My friend that blows glass, dude, real like they did okay. We were in Florida, right? And I'm like, bro, I'll never forget you pulling up into his driveway, getting out, and I was like, oh hell no, bro! Like you need to do something. And then they did this whole high times thing. Glass blowers in Florida, dude, had all the nugs trying to hide. Literally within a week, dude, they came, And I'll just you never forget like how it was back then. You like to grow like that and to know like how your neighbors are fucking smelling it. Like you pull up, I feel like a lot of that stuff might have got lost because people were just scared to grow it. Like they just were.
Yeah, man. I remember even in Eugene, dude, it wasn't like everybody was growing weed, dude. There were select few of us and we'd all be out at night. It was like it was like a whole like it was really cool actually because the culture and how like Eugene is like very unique culture for weed and weed growers.
Yeah, yeah.
Um
Eugene's cool as hell, bro. I haven't been there in a long time, but back then, like I had a
well,
lot of friends that moved to
it's different
Eugene.
now. It's not like that
Oh, I'm
anymore.
sure it's way different now. Yeah, I'm sure it's way different now. But back then, back then that was it. Eugene was the hip. It was. I'll never. I had such a good time there, and I had a lot of friends that ended up moving out there, and they never came back.
People
So
moved out here to grow weed and blow glass, man.
yeah, blow glass. That was it. Because Bob was out there. A lot of my friends ended up out there, and they became they were learning with Bob, apprentices to Bob, and little, we were young, right off Dead Tour. That was just where they ended up, and I still, a lot of them are gone now, sadly, but there's a couple of them left, and they're still doing their thing, man. It's cool, it's cool.
Yeah, no, Eugene's unique in that way. Like
You don't have to respond to price wise, but maybe tell them where they can get in touch with you if they'd
oh
like
yeah, you
to.
just hit the DM and we'll start the combo. I'll tell you what's up. There's different scales. Like to be honest, it's like 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour. That's when the cream starts to happen. You know what I mean? You get an hour, you fucking, and it's not expensive, dude. And it comes with free seeds. It's like worth every fucking penny. Because I wish I had that, like I discovered it on my own and everything.
Definitely,
Now
man.
you have the most like holistic living soil method that's like really, you don't need all this technology, really you just need a good soil, a good mix, some earthworm castings and some fucking top dress, and let's go. You just need to know the amount of top dress and when, and you just give them water the whole time. You're solid if you want to do it most simple. So it's like just that plug right there. If people like own that, don't let things get too dry, don't overwater, it's like very simple, like that there, that's the whole sphere. And then
Yeah,
going outside the trip and discovering how you're getting your microbes, your fungi, your whole thing. It's like it can happen really quick. Then the curing aspect, pruning aspect, all that shit's really easy. It's really,
yeah.
really simple. And
Ryan.
to get certain
Yeah.
buds, like, you see our photos and stuff. I don't grow for little buds, that's not how my technique is. I prune and pinch in certain things. I don't want that stuff, I don't do certain other things. So it's a very, being able to give that information to people that are doing it at home is something that, I think is, it's time. I've kept it secret, for a
No,
reason,
that's
because I
what's
don't want
up,
it to
man.
get exploited, but I want it to be easy for people because I think the plant wants that. And that's
Yeah,
just my,
absolutely. I always look at things in the point where if I'm looking, if I'm that person that wants this help, where am I going to go? And people that can come to you, someone like you, they can look up to, they can grow your genetics. Now you have a nutrient line. That's what's up, bro. Like share that knowledge.
it's easy, especially because it's so easy. I want people to understand that you don't have all this, doesn't need all this technicality that you see or whatever, man. It's really simple. It's a that you can expect a lot of OG, kind of chem profiles, but then it has all this other kind of weird acrid fuel, and so but then it still gets that like sweetness in there too. So griddles SPSV. What are the terms of the OGLA 78? Yeah, the OGLA 78 AFI. So it came through aficionado some years
Oh
ago.
yeah,
Yeah,
interesting. I just had Leo on here about 2 weeks ago, so.
yeah, Leo's a G.
Leo is, bro. I became really close. Like he's become a friend. Yeah, Leo is fucking cool,
Committed,
bro.
committed plant lord, he's a cool guy.
He's a trip, man. Like he cracks me the fuck up, bro. He does. He'll be. Yeah, he's a trip.
All the people doing the thing, bro, are fucking trips, bro.
Definitely,
Like we're
definitely.
keeping it PG in this one, so it's chill, So
All
uh,
right.
you said the ChemD and 91 are touch different. I don't know if they're different. I grew them; they seem the same to me. That's what I was like. I like them both. They're both fucking.
Oh, did we lose you? Did his phone die? Uh-oh. Shit. I don't know if his phone died. I think his phone might have died. I don't know why. I feel like that was a dead phone type of thing. But all right, we're gonna. Oh, there he is.
I'm
He's
back,
back. There he is. I thought we lost you.
motherfuckers. People calling me during the thing.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
but
Uh,
anyway, yeah, no, they're both awesome. They're both very similar to me. So I don't really know, like, actually, maybe I need to do more research, but you know how it goes. Especially if it's two different phenols, I'm keeping them separate, so I have them separate, but they seem pretty much the same. It's just like all
uh,
these OGs I have, SBSE, Skywalker, Kosher, Josh D. They all seem almost the same, but some different characteristics. The way Josh D grows, the way the nug crowns, the way certain different the Skywalker, the size, structure, all these different things are a little different. Smell exactly the fucking same almost.
well, I
Just
think that's the
so
difference between those. The chems is just different phenos, is what I was under the impression of. So,
totally. So if that's they're pretty much the same from my perspective. So that means maybe I need to do
right.
more of my own research, but in meaning grow them both more and see what they are, but they seem the same. What's that say?
The old grapefruit and the afgoo. What happened to it? I think you still have the afgoo. At least you have some crosses with it for sure.
No, Afghan, but yeah, no, the Affy was going around Eugene for a while. It's still around here for sure. Grapefruit is too. Both those strains. I'm back.
Welcome back, Carly. Thanks for letting us know. We appreciate you. All right, talk about educational Cali Green. I don't know. What does this say? Talk about educational Cali Green is one of the oldest cannabis content creators. Okay, thank you for that. What else do we have? Any strains? Any strains from Green Bodhi with heavy pine terps?
The true pine, like that pinene that I've only really smelled in like Willie's Wonder and great like Great White Shark was another one that had that really fucking upfront pinene. But the hazy stuff has some of it, but it's not like that. So I can't say, but some people would think so. But
Okay, he back to this to an angel and what are the terps on the OGLA
and then like
78?
very like fuel spice, kind of cushy. It's very that combo's kind of what comes out of that. I don't know what the names of those terps.
What do we got? I'm trying to go through. I know we only have. Oh, man, we only have 9 minutes. This year goes by way too fast, but I need to make these longer, like hour and a half. I think that's like a thing that has to
It's
be
good.
done.
It keeps it fresh, bro.
I
You're doing
know,
good.
I know. It's just they go by so fast, man. I look up and it's like we're literally have 8 minutes left. Okay. Do you use lactic acid bacteria serum for microbes?
No, I do not. I spray EM on shit. I use the EM. I use
All right,
other things too.
I think that we actually got through. I think we just got caught up in the questions. Yeah, it looks like we did. All right, if you guys have any more questions, it's going to be your last opportunity. We have about 7 minutes left, and then we'll have in-house coming in here to end the night out, guys. So any questions you have, feel free to ask away now. I cannot see the Instagram. Here, I'll see. I try to tell you guys, man, the Instagram doesn't come up on my screen. I have to look down to see it. And there's like 30 of y'all on Instagram. You should just be over here on YouTube. It makes it so much easier. But did you ever wash any of your strains to make hash? And what chirping and what chirping provides did you get? Can you rephrase that? The chirping part?
He should just look at New Rose Farms 3.0. I think he just did a bunch of washing with some stuff.
Okay.
We did that SVSD 89 and the PHK Afghani. Seems like it went really well.
Okay. If you use any fermentation like EM or rice water milk, LA Lab, are you using labs?
I use EM.
Okay.
I use EM5. I use EM1. I use a mix of, I used those things. Use the Microbe Plus from Brandon. That's kind of what I'm, basically gearing towards just because, just doing some work together and the products,
Yeah.
more rich and bio.
Bodhi is the man. That's good. Okay, this is good. So we can. What are some of your most mold resistant strains from Raindrop?
A lot of the golden stuff is pretty mold resistant. The 89 stuff is pretty mold resistant. The Afghani stuff's pretty early, so it finishes earlier, and so that prevents some of that mold reality too. Hey,
All right, this is what he was going to ask. He's actually in Canada. He makes hash, like old school. Actually, I think I have a piece, like old school hash, not like rosin. Like what the fuck?
Yeah,
I
the
thought I had.
SDSE 89 NL is a really fucking skunky strain, to be honest. And it makes good hash too, and it's pretty foul.
Like
Old
old
school
black.
stuff.
Yeah, he makes
Yeah,
old
temple
school.
balls.
Yep. So
My buddy made a bunch of temple balls for me, and then we pressed them, So like
right,
double, made rosin out of the temple balls, and this shit's like really trippy high.
that sounds
It's
good.
really cool, man. And then you can hit, smoke it however, because sometimes, what I mean, this stuff gets pretty charry,
Yeah.
so you
All right,
can't hit
guys,
it
we got
like.
like 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left. So, either way, I'll hit you up tomorrow. I need to update it. I need to know what's what the new stuff is, so we can get it to the people. Whatever's there, I'll get in touch with you tomorrow about that. But I mean,
Awesome.
besides that, I guess if you guys have any other questions, man, feel free, because like I said, we literally have 3 minutes left now, 4 minutes left, 3 minutes, whatever it is.
Yeah, I
I'm really
appreciate you having me on too, man. To be honest, I
absolutely
really like these things. They're fun, and it keeps it like, connect with a bunch of people in a different way that maybe they just don't get a raw opportunity to see that all these people are real humans.
100%, bro.
They're the same, and they're the
Right?
same. They're the same
That
people.
was my whole intention. Like from the beginning, was like, we see the logo, we know the logo. Like, let's show who we are. Not everybody wants to do it. And I'm like, it's cool, whatever, bro. It took me a long time to sit here and be able to just talk to people and bullshit for hours, and I could do it now really well. But it goes a long way. It goes a long way for them to be able to come in and ask specific questions they might not be able to ask anywhere else. And I think it's the best way to do it is like this, just straight, like organically. Like I let them know. It's not like we sit and have a conversation beforehand. The questions come in, the conversation goes where it goes, and the time fucking flies, man. It's like we just chilling, So
It's easy that way.
it's so much easier.
Yeah, man.
But
I've done some preset things, but which were very professional and very cool because we knew exactly what was up. We only got through like half the questions even because I'm kind of long winded and all, but like it was very you know it's very cool. And these spontaneous ones are fucking super cool because they're like really easy. You can just like vibe out, take some
right,
long hits, talk about whatever.
100%, man. Well, I appreciate your time, bro. Thank you for hanging out for the
Thank you, man.
last hour. I know everybody enjoyed it. Again, the hour fucking flew, and we will do it again. I will definitely. First of all, I'll be in touch tomorrow, but we will do this again sometime in the near future. 100%. Thanks. I
So,
appreciate it.
thank you, man.
And
Appreciate
all right, bro. I'm gonna
it.
let
Have
you
a good
go.
one.
Have a good night, man.
You too. Have fun.
All right. Yeah. If there's anything actually before, are you gone? You still there? I was gonna say, if there's
I'm
anything
still
you
here.
want to say, let them know. We still have a couple minutes, really, but
Yeah, no, I said everything that I needed to say. We're gonna be having a new drop with you, so that'll have a lot of the new stuff. And
sounds good.
gbgenetics.com is my own personal website, and greenbodhi.org is my other site, and you can find anything you need on there, or just hit the DMs on that Instagrams. I got 4 of them. I check all of them.
I
So that's
know,
what's
man.
up.
It's a thing. It has to be. It has to be done. It's
Dude,
crazy. Instagram's
I'm
crazy.
like collabing with myself from all these different accounts.
Bro, that's what I've been doing that shit lately because I realized you could do that and it makes sense to do it. So yeah, I've been doing the same shit, bro. It's hilarious. But all right, man. I definitely
I
appreciate you,
don't even
brother.
post all the weed that we got, like all the like sick photos from Eric. It's like a lot of shit just gets flagged, man.
Yeah, and you guys have the best. In the beginning, you guys sent me over all kinds of pictures of everything and fucking, really professional, really good pictures. I need to go back into that and try to post some of that stuff on my picture page because I do keep a specific page just to post flower because we know how Instagram is, and I think I need to go read. re-get into that, especially the new stuff. But like I said, we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll hit you up tomorrow for sure.
Sounds good. Thanks. You guys have a good night.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, let's see. Let's see. We get in-house in here. I think we're about right on time right here. I think I'm gonna have to stop the Instagram is probably gonna stop, and I'll restart it up. I don't know why all you guys, there's 30 people almost on Instagram. I don't know why you guys just don't come over to the YouTube, man. Y'all scared of YouTube? Come on, come over. Shit's wild, bro. There's so many people on fucking. Well, there's like 30 people on Instagram. There's 85 in here. Why don't we combine this so we have 100? You know, you're on both. All right, some of y'all are on both. All right, I see it. You don't have to sign in. You can go as a guest, man. You can go as a guest on YouTube. You do not have to sign in. You do not have to sign in. Just so you know, you don't have to sign in. You got me off Insta. Let's go. What's up, man? It's better over here. It's better. You don't no. I don't think. Listen, I don't think that's true, bro. Why can't you see the comments on YouTube without having an account? I don't believe that. Okay, Owski, where's Owski at? Are you in here? Owski and in-house. Owski and in-house. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Oh, you have to if you want to comment. Okay. Okay. I didn't know that. I don't have an account. I just sign in as a guest, and I was always able to. All right. All right. Anyway, we're waiting on in-house and Owski. They should be here any second. I did send them the link. Hopefully they know the time. And they should be here any second. So in the meanwhile, I will pull up the wheel. Let me go to the original post. I'm not going to be able to see you guys for a second here. Oh, wait. How do I do this, man? I'm not sure I can do this without it closing out the Instagram. Did it close it out? I don't know if it did or not, but hold on. All right, I'm going to do... I can't do it while we're on here. All right, well, okay. When this live stops when the Instagram live stops, I'll pull your guys' names. Picture and sound better on Instagram, really? I'm a premium member. I only use IG to communicate. Let's go. You let them know. Let them know. Let them know. What up, South Jersey? Hank can find it. Y'all can find it too. All right, here. I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna turn the camera off for 1 second. We're gonna wait for in-house to get here. We're waiting on in-house and Owski. So in-house and Owski. Your time has come. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We waiting on you. We're waiting on you guys. Hey, what's up, Pacific Coast Roots? Well, you come in and say what's up to Hank. You don't say what's up to Dark. It's cool, bro. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I do know that the live on Instagram is going to end very soon. I can't remember when we started it. As soon as it ends, I'm going to pull the names off the post, and we'll make sure we do a couple giveaways. Actually, oh, there it goes. It just ended just now. It just ended right now. So let me go over to Instagram and pull these names real quick. Give me 1 sec, guys. I'm going to pull the names from Instagram. Damn, my all-time favorite Dead Show? Oh, there's Owski. All right, I see Owski in here. Hold on. Let me get you up. Get you up here.
What up?
What's up? Let me Give
It
me
took
1
me
second.
to get in. Like, for some reason, my browser was blocking the mic and camera access or some shit.
This is what he was saying too. Well, oh, you mean through here? Oh, usually that's like an Instagram thing, right? Like,
Yeah, it was when I clicked on it through Instagram, it was blocking it. So,
gotcha.
anywho.
You gotta open it up in the web browser.
Yeah, that's what I had to do.
Oh yeah, I sent you guys the link.
Dang, it worked.
I
How's
figured
everybody
it would work
doing?
like that. So. Had a pretty good night so far. I think you guys saw some of it for sure. Ade, I think her name. I don't know how to say her name. Ade. However you say her name. I apologize if you're in here. I think it's Ade, but Ade, something like that. She was cool. She's about to graduate with her master, or she's about to get her doctorate. I think it is. So that was cool to have her on. And obviously, Green Bodhi. That was a good conversation as well. So. Perfect way to end the night out is with you two. And I totally forgot. I'm not going to really be able to do anything but use a. Let me get this back onto Instagram first. Give me 1 second. I don't think I'm going to be able to use that wheel. I totally forgot because there's no way for me to show it. So basically, we could use a comment picker when we decide to do these giveaways in here, and I'll use the wheel at another time. I'll save the wheel maybe for tomorrow, guys. I apologize, but there's no way you guys will be able to see it, so it doesn't make sense to use tonight. But I will use it. All right, let us get.
Well, we can. If we don't do it tonight, we can double it up tomorrow.
Well, we can do it where we do. There's a hashtag comment picker, so we can give these guys a hashtag to put up, and it will actually pull a winner from that. It's part of the StreamYard. It's pretty cool. And then we could use that tomorrow. We could use that wheel tomorrow at some point. So let me get us back onto Instagram. It's the only thing that sucks sometimes is when the Instagram ends, I have to go back through all this to get us back onto Instagrams. But here we go. It's going to take a second. There we go. Let me get us back on the Instagram. All right, there we go. Go live. All right, we should be good now. There we go. All right, let me get back over into here. All right, cool. All right, we should be good. So that should put us. Yep, we're back. All right, cool. Let me change the scroll. So hey, I see you, Brandon Rust. I see you over on Instagram. I see you there. You might as well come over to YouTube. Switch this to. We can put this one back up from last time. So that's the one, Owski at Stockyards369.com. We had put it up for anybody that wanted to reach out to you guys about maybe farmers out there, growers that maybe wanted to get in your dispensary. So I figured we could put that up there for now. I'll leave that up. Okay, so what's going on, guys?
What's going on? It's been a whole 3 hours since I talked to you.
I know, man. It feels like forever, though, bro. I missed you, man. It's been like a long 3 hours. No, I'm glad you're back.
Yeah. What would you guys? What do you want to start with? We got a bit to talk about, and I think we got an hour.
Yeah, we have an hour, and we can always come back. So, well, this won't end. The Instagram will end in an hour. The YouTube will continue.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, yeah, we have an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, it's your show.
Well,
it's your world. We're just living in it.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't we talk about? We could talk about the one world, one plant. I mean, we could start with that, or we could talk about the country. I feel like we should touch on all those topics. So why don't we start with the one world?
I just want to know which one you wanted to start with. So for the people that don't know, one world, one plant. We kicked it off a couple years ago. We've been, we had a big, huge rollout of it, and then we've been piecing it out ever since. And then now we're going to do another big, huge rollout. But last time we did the raffle. We did things a little bit different last time than we are going to do this time. So this time we're going to stagger it out over the course of the next year, right? So the first wave is going to be like through the people like Dark Star, the people that have the following.
Sorry.
I can
They
mute
didn't have
you.
the nervous laugh.
I can mute you for a second.
Oh, yeah. Well, her conversation started where mine was beginning. So,
I'm just
but
kidding. I'm
okay.
not
So
gonna do
so what we're planning to do is that like the Dark Stars and you got ICANN, THC, handful of these content creators, people that are bringing a lot of the community together, and so we're gonna end up loading off a bunch of the One World, One Plant seeds onto them, so that way they can give it out to their people that support them, people that follow them, and so we can ultimately what it is the main core of it is to get people growing, right? Some people that otherwise are on the fence about growing, this gives them a good introductory to it. Gets their hands a little bit dirty, so we can promote the fact of how important it is for people to grow and also learn a really good skill set in the process. Also, as they run into problems, they run into issues, they can lean on their community for support, because a lot of people are also doing the exact same thing that they're doing. So what we noticed last time, from the last time we did the project, was we brought a lot of people together that otherwise wouldn't have been brought together. And so they started kind of forming their own groups and have now kind of have their own grow groups stemming from the original One World, One Plant. So we just thought it was something really, really cool. We're in a good position to do it. The genetics are great. Everybody had a great time with it last time. It really, really impacted a lot of people in such a positive way that some of the stuff, it was really refreshing to see, because it gives you the good side, the real just shines bright on the good side of this community.
do I know you showed what the genetics were on the regs. Can we talk about what it is, or is that like, I know last time we didn't know what it was till after the fact. Is this something that people can know what it is this time? I can't remember if you had
I'm
spoke
pretty
about
sure.
it.
No, I'll go back and look, but I'm sure we listed it the first round. We've only time we've not released the crosses is if it's a project or if it's something that we're working on, or we're trying to see what usually that's an isolated group of people. But last time it was the purple punch, or no, platinum punch times the deadly sativa, right?
Yeah, I think we
And
didn't
then
find it. I think we had
yeah,
to wait.
so
Okay, yeah.
yeah, so we let everybody know. I think what it was leading up to it, we kept it under wraps, and then once everybody got it, then we released it. And then the cool part is we started on New Year's, and everybody popped it on New Year's, and so it was pretty cool because you saw the other side of the world start popping first, because the day starts over there first, and then it progressively went around the world, which was really cool to see. So you saw the hashtags light up and all that. We're gonna do, like I said, we're gonna do a little bit different this way. It's kind of more this first round of it is going to be based around like I said, people like you and that have these communities. So they have like kind of a base of operation, and then from there we'll open it up to more people, and then continue to launch. But this one here in particular that's first going out is the Divine Storm times the One World, One Plant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we got a lot of good results and feedback from the folks in Thailand, and anybody that's a grower in Thailand knows how difficult it is to grow in Thailand in particular. But these ones we went with this first round is with regs. Later in the year we'll release the fems, but we're going to do the regs. The first for the next two rounds are going to be regs, and we'll do 2 rounds of fems. So like also if you guys miss out on this one, it's there's always the next month, the next round.
If you guys have any questions, like, feel free to ask. I will throw them up there. I see a lot of you guys still over on Instagram asking questions, and I keep trying to let you guys know it's really hard for me to see the question on Instagram. They don't pop up here. So if you guys want to come over to YouTube, it will make it a lot easier. I mean, I will try to keep up with your guys' questions over there. No problem. But so One World, One Plant is back on. That's from Bodhi. He's over. I know he's over across the pond somewhere.
So I got a good question in the comments. So Jackass says, has my thoughts changed on autos? No, not necessarily. I think you're talking about the interview I do with I Can THC, I think last year. Like autos is obviously just a completely different beast, and when you try to do too many things or deviate from too many things, you can get lost, or you can stray from what your base is, what you're extremely good at. Not to say that we're not dabbling, that we're not exploring options and seeing what comes and see if we can strike any winners in that realm. But also, there's a lot of really good people that are specifically in the auto breeding and are doing amazing work.
Yeah, there are. They've come a long way, that's for sure. They've come a long way.
Yeah. So you guys, another great question. Is there people that are gathering all around One World stuff? Okay. If you get these packs, the cool part is if you get these packs, or you've been a part of the One World and are going to be future part of the One World, the cool part is this project is for you guys. So if somebody wants to start a Discord or start any sort of groups or anything like that, let us know. We'll start directing people there, because the whole idea is for people to come together and work on stuff. So if you feel that a Discord and One World, One Plant Discord is the route for that, let us know. We'll start letting people know, hey, there's a One World, One Plant Discord, all that. This is a project for the community as a whole to work on, and it was created for the community, and will always stay within in that domain.
I mean, we could put I do have a Discord, and we can make a section in there just for One World, One Plant. So I'll talk to my guy and see, not that would be the only place, but you guys could at least go there and post there, and I'll talk to him and figure it out, because it's a pretty big one. I think there's like 1,500 people in there already. There's a lot that goes on there. I really am not in there, but I know we can make a section in there, or make a whole nother. We can figure it out.
I would say though, like, I encourage people to find winners, breed with it, try to get as much out of it as you possibly can, because like I've mentioned before to a couple of people in a discussion and a live recently, is like, we're living in a really unique time where you can begin to establish yourself in this community and put your work out there, and really start to carve out something specifically based around you and your work, and promote yourself. That's the really cool part with the social media, like the aside from the negative side of stuff, but with the positive side of stuff, this allows an individual to put themselves out there and improve and take feedback and keep honing their craft and getting better at what they do. And this is a perfect project for people to do that. That's why I say it's an open platform, and we get to make this not just a North America thing, but we get to make this thing a global thing. We've got people in Thailand, South Africa. We have a really great group of folks in South Africa that really just killed it last time. In fact, it was all around the world. People killed it there. We've touched all across the world. There's Tino ended up sending a pack of One World packs to like one of the most remote places on Earth, which was out basically in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It took like 4 months for it to get there, but it finally got there. So that's why I encourage people is if you're in this community, this is a great space and a great time in history where we have the tools and we have the resources at our disposal to promote yourself and show your craft and show how important not just yourself in this community, but how important the plant is across the board, because like I've preached before and have said with numerous times, like this plant doesn't have any boundaries, and it doesn't see a lot of the things other communities see, or it's like doesn't have the same tools they can use to divide it, etc. So that's what I say is put your work out there, put yourself out there, and make the most of it.
So I think he touched on that already. All stars. I think it's going to be myself. Well, I'll let him answer. So
the first couple of people that are getting it this week is Dark Star, Photosyntech. I'm going to see ICANN THC on. I'm going to see Matt on Saturday at the Secret Sesh. There's Lit Genetics on the East Coast, which they're live daily. We have Tino's getting, I think, 30 of the packs so everything's basically ready to go up and out. So so we have Canada and North America right now, and then here in the next couple of weeks, South Africa will get their round, which will kick off that portion of the world. So over the coming months, we're just going to keep pushing it out. Okay, Lone Wolf, Metadank out of Australia. He's got his set aside for him. It'll probably take 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get there. The role of it. As soon as I made sure, and through DM that I made sure that he will for sure have one, because I know that you've been a big, huge supporter of this. So I wanted to make sure that you were that he had you taken care of when the time comes.
Man, the conversation is all about autos still.
Yeah, well, so it's stemming from, because we've never really had see Chad Westport, that's another I got his ready for you home growers. Chad Westport is a great source of information, especially when it comes to techniques and grower and the content, and those are the people that we wanted to get out to first, is these folks that are really just truly about the community and really looking to make people feel comfortable, but feel comfortable asking questions, even if the person perceives it as a dumb question or they should already know it. Because when it's growing, there is no dumb question, and you're always going to learn. You're always going to keep growing and moving forward and progress. But that's not to say that you're not going to have setbacks, but those setbacks are eased by the people of your community to come in and support you and be like, oh yeah, don't worry, I've had that happen to me before. That's one of the surprisingly soothing things, is when you see people relate to you, be like, yeah, I did the same thing one time, or when I first started, I ran into that, or whatever. Don't worry, you'll get through it, and then you'll be good to go.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man, and that's life too. You got to, we have to make mistakes. That's the best way to learn, is to make a mistake. But It is good to have people like I don't know him yet, Chad, but Chad, he came through earlier, so it's cool to have people that are actually like, well, I don't meet too many Chads, so I had to fuck with them a little bit and say, but for real, that's what it's all about, though. Like, that's why we do what we do. That's why I do what I do. It's really based, all growers for sure. But the new growers, to me, are always going to be the most important ones, because, they just are, man.
Yeah, but it's but that's the cool part about it is watching you guys continue to hone your craft and garner this support, because these people are taking time out of their day to come hear what you got to say and what other people that you're bringing on has to say, and hold and maintain that audience, and so like with the Matts and the Chads of the world and all of that, that's really cool and refreshing to see, and that's why when we have things like this where we can promote that, we're all over that to jump in on that and see, because in reality, the more people that we can show and educate along the way to say, hey, they're coming after this plant, they're going to attack us in every direction, but if we keep our shit together and we stay as a community, we stay united, you'd be surprised on the pushback that we can generate and create, you know. And that's where I'm starting to see some of this form, because now if in-house posts something, I see that share button going crazy, right? If somebody posts something that the masses need to know, that share button is really crucial. And I've seen information spread really quickly, you know, and really rapidly across the board. And that's really coming from the hodgepodge of network, but that network of people start to basically come together or coordinate. It's going to be a dangerous situation for the powers that be, that want to just continue to demonize this plant, demonize us for growing it, and you know, continue to look upon us like we're peasants, like we don't deserve this, like, you know, that's the frustrating part.
Like we're criminals or something, like we're dealing drugs and it's like it's heroin or something like that, you know?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely for others, man. You know, like I try to say that a lot. I'm just here to, you know, but I just want to say there are so many states, like I am in Pennsylvania, I will say it all the time. We have no rec program here. You got places like Indiana, like some places are way worse, you know. It is insane that like some people are still going to jail for nothing, like Indiana, Kentucky. Some of these states is just Kansas.
Yeah.
It's wild. I mean, we've come
I
a
think
long way.
it's a combination of allowing people to make decisions that don't know what they're talking about, but also inadvertently, as humans, we like to destroy shit, and we can't really. We have to crash the car to almost to where it's broken down and burning before we sort of make any changes. And that's why I think by growing and understanding, basically understanding not just the genetics but the cannabinoid system and all that, when the time comes and these studies start to come out, and it's going to be all of a sudden out of the blue. It's going to seem like it's out of the blue that, you know, oh, CBG helps, you know, Crohn's, right? CBD actually slows seizures and and actually helps the blood quite a bit. All of a sudden, this stuff's going to come out, and it's going to be like they just did all these studies just overnight, you know. And if you're a grower and you understand this plant and you understand the basically the progression and the processing aspect of it, there's a lot of things that you can make at home that's going to help remedy to make you feel better and make your life a lot better in the process, you know, because this is more than, you know, just THC and how, you know, how high you can get. This is actually shifting and becoming a lifestyle. This is actually shifting and becoming so many more things that we didn't really anticipate this 10 years ago. But like I said, here we are, right? And here we are at the forefront. And in many cases, a lot of you folks are making history. So you can now throw your hat in the ring and continue and help and make history as we move forward. That's a real thing. We'll look back at this in 5 years. You know, maybe hopefully we're not wish I could have, should have. It would be, hey, this was a pivotal point where we really took action and we protected not just ourselves, but we protected this plant from being overran and taken over. You know, and that's really ultimately what they want to do. And it's really frustrating because a lot of legalization came at the cost of true medical markets. Like here in Washington, there's a good medical market still in Michigan, but that's under constant attack, you know. And we need to actually kind of find a balance there, you know. But the cool part is now we're not beholden to a cannabis product or cannabis-derived product that costs $100,000 or $50,000 anymore, when we have the ability and the skill set as a community to make it for pennies on the dollar if it comes down to it. Or if it's ever in short supply, we know we can make it. And you're also going to be better off because you're going to have the lack of synthetics in it and a more of a natural product, so your body is gonna take it a bit better, you know. And they will come down hard. I think they're starting to flirt with the algorithm and all that to silence a lot of the community, you know. Anytime you post something remotely to anything, they shut you down, you know.
Well, the pharmaceutical industry is already noticing a change and people coming off prescriptions. They don't like it. That's why they're buckling down and kind of trying to do this Schedule 3 shit now.
Well, yeah, so like Schedule 3 is a whole different can of worms, but it doesn't change the fact that but that by growing by growing not just cannabis, you guys, but growing your own fruits and vegetables and getting a green thumb in that realm will actually change your life in many aspects, because you're using if it's your own personal garden, you're using less pesticides, insecticides. It's a much healthier coming from your garden, and so you're able to, for 6 months out of the year, you'll be able to eat a lot healthier, because even that the organic labels and all that are misnomers and misleading. And we need to actually, once people start feeling better and realizing, oh, if I eat better and I'm not ingesting all these chemicals, I have a better life. I'm not feeling like as much shit as feeling like shit all the time. Like anytime you eat fast food, what's the first thing? You regret it, because you're like, oh, this is gross, right? Now our fruits and vegetables are starting to get like that, the crazy thing is safest thing on the market, or safest thing that we consume and ingest, is cannabis, because of the high testing that we have. Not to say that there's stuff that pops up every once in a while, but as far as the regulations and consistency, hands down, safest product out there is cannabis.
Hands down. Especially, for the home grower, for you growing your own. Safest.
Yeah,
that goes
look at this prime example. See, Vinny B has a choice, right? He goes, okay, I can, and we don't have a recourse in this country with addiction, right? So, prescription medications, pain medications like Vicodin, Oxycontin, all that. We've seen the devastation. We all have been affected by that. The whole country knows somebody that was affected by that. He made the conscious choice to go, I'm going to look for an alternative, right? Whether that was cannabis or whatever, but he sought an alternative that he found that worked. They want him. They don't. People, the industry or the lobbies don't want Vinny to make that type of decision. His decision needs to be based off of what his doctor told him, that he needs to take this pain medication.
And that's that goes to what Riff's saying as well. So
yeah. But yeah,
Doctor had me on that crap for years. I've tried probably every medicine under the sun for anxiety and sleep, and nothing worked until I switched to cannabis. And now I don't take anything for anything anymore, hardly.
And that's one of the refreshing thing that I'm seeing is I'm starting to see more people share their story, which is very important, because the more you share your story, the more people that hear it, the more people it rings bells to them, because sometimes it might not be something that directly affects them yet, or they might know somebody that has a similar situation and can go, hey, can you look at this, right? Because we're not sitting here making basically claims that it's a cure-all or anything like this. What it is as a human individual, you should always explore all your options and figure out what's the best option for you, and what's the best quality of life for you moving forward on any of these major decisions. A little bit of an echo. Is that me? But yeah, it's but ultimately, you guys, with these type of projects, the things that we like to do, and like I said, we're just fortunate to be in a position where we have a great following, we have the respect of the community. So when we say something, it goes the distance, because we haven't strayed you left or right. We haven't strayed you in a terrible way. And that's really awesome to see, and it's really a really great thing to be a part of. Yeah, the tough part about that is, so like the pushback from the military complex, right? So now PTSD there's a lot of ways to treat PTSD outside of pills. And there's one of this picture that really stood out to me, was a veteran, and he had a pillowcase, basically size bag, and that was the pills that he took all year long. It was huge. It was like a big, huge pillowcase, like jam packed, and that was his. I think that was his yearly medication, and it's just like, it's terrible to see, because that's got to be taking a major toll on your organs to be chewing down that many pills. Not here, and let's be clear. There's medications that are wonder drugs. There's medications that do great and that do wonders. You just want to continue to educate yourself, so you're taking the right medications and taking the right treatments and making so that is catering to your body and what you're setting out to do. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that's and I think that's, we can't rely on the FDA. We can't rely on the human and health services. We can't rely on those to serve the people, because they don't serve the people. Normally we would look to them, what's in the best interest of the people, and those agencies are supposed to serve that, but we haven't gotten that in decades. We have the FDA, which is a captured agency. We have the human and health services that create something and then instantly hand it over. The taxpayer pays for the funding to do the stuff, to do the research and the studies, and then that very NIH just hands it over to the pharmaceutical companies to take it from there. It's never open patents or for anybody else to work on. And it gets really frustrating, because we all are now fully understand the capabilities and the cannabinoid system of this plant and how it affects our body, and how the results are great when you introduce it and you have it consistently in your diet. And then the nonprofit lobbyist organization. See, that's the thing is we could start a lobby, but you need altruistic people in nature to run that lobby, so you can bring the masses in to support that, and so there needs to be somebody that's way smarter than me, way more savvier than me, which there's candidates out there. We just need to go seek them and find them and urge them to come together and form that. I would love to support that, but it's hard, because when you look around, a lot of these lobbies, a lot of these groups are self-serving, or turned out that they ultimately end up being like controlled opposition in many cases. Yeah. See, I think that hemp and cannabis. I agree with this. With Hernandez. I think that hemp and cannabis could almost take the opioid crisis out. Or at least reduce it by a minimum of 50% without even trying. That is, that would get people off of Suboxone and the other shit that's just basically just a trade-off. So instead of taking street drugs, you're taking a pharmaceutical drug that's doing the exact same thing, and it's a business. So when you go to get your methadone or your Suboxone, there's a company behind that that's getting paid. So they don't really have an incentive to take your dose down. So they just keep you right at a level, and then they gaslight you, going, no, we got to take you down slowly. And the thing is a lot of the vast majority of the people of this country, I think it's affected everybody, almost the 99% of this country has been touched or affected by the opioid crisis.
Everybody,
every single person knows someone that was either addicted or overdosed. Everybody.
Yeah, 100%, man. Few and far between. I can't imagine in this day and age, at this point in time, people not being affected in one way or another by it, because it is just everywhere. It's crazy, and it just is. And I hear people talking about,
Vinny B spitting some fire right now. It basically says just legalize your habit and managing your dope sickness. That's in a snapshot. That's what I'm talking about.
Kind of getting you addicted to something else, even though Suboxone technically isn't addicted. People are addicted to Suboxone.
It's an opiate. It is an opiate. No matter what, it's still an opiate.
Yeah. Well, it's like you're putting a Band-Aid over a bullet wound, right? And there's no solution, because that addiction turns into a mental crisis. That mental crisis turns into a homeless crisis, and then this is here we are, right? All the while, pharmaceutical industry took in billions, right? And so that's why I think that the Vinny B's and these people that are talking about this and asking these questions, they're asking questions because they truly want to know. because the more that, you know, you're going to come across somebody that's going to have the actual answer for this. And then as people get more educated, instead of asking questions, then the phase of solutions start to kick in, right? And then people start taking control of their destiny and control of their community and control of their you know, bubbles in their sphere, you know. But yeah, and it's like chronic caper, like with the THC A and the THC loophole. What that is in particular in Florida, is you have DeSantis that wants to kill any sort of legalization bill for cannabis. So this is his basically big fuck you to that movement. Now, that bill is disastrous because it cut out home growers, it continues the monopoly. So it's something that you could actually support by that, because it'll bump up against, and it'll kind of give a little bit of a more open market, right? You know, and that's where we have to start beginning to understand when it comes to politics. This isn't one side against the other. It's who's fitting your interest for that particular matter. So that's what you're going to push through. And you need every party that's involved in order to do that, right? But we get in this tribalism where it's one side or the other. And so it's like, oh, you're supporting that, or you're supporting that, you know, and it's like, no. I'm supporting the cause that's going to affect me, that's going to affect my community and affect everybody around me. I don't care what letter they have in front of their name, right? Whoever's going to help better this country and help the situation and get the results, then that's who you're going to support. You have to decipher if they're full of shit, if they're just playing, you know, grabbing votes or whatever they're doing. But this tribalism and this basically is equivalent to a gang war in this country. It's either you're red or blue. Anybody that grew up in the 80s and 90s, it was the Bloods and Crips against each other. You didn't want to get caught in their hoods with the wrong colors. And that's kind of out in public. That's what our political system has turned into, is like, oh, you're agreeing with them or you're agreeing with that. And then you have the influence of everything. Oh man. Yeah. It's crazy, because I've seen it on both ends.
Crazy. I agree 100%, bro. It's wild. Like, I don't think it has to be, like you said, you don't have to be totally on either side. You could be in the middle. Like, we could be cool to be in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to agree with everything they fucking agree with, but we should at least agree, like, whoever we want to choose, whoever that may be, you know, should fucking be about the plant. And that's real, you know. I'm just, it blows my mind. It just does. It's just wild.
To put it in perspective, I have a really good friend, and we've known each other since middle school, right? You know, and we have, on the vast majority of stuff, we disagree. We have some of the most views that are on the optimum spectrum, right? You know, however, but we are truly really best friends in a sense. Like, if he called me at 2 a.m. and he's across the country, next thing I'm doing is finding the first flight, right? No questions asked, I'll be there. See, that's where I think we make the mistake is where people would get into that back and forth and not agree to disagree, and then all of a sudden that person, I'm not talking to them no more. You know, I'm not, you know, like we saw experience this, whether with the, I don't even want to say, you know, the situation, but if you're on one side of the fence or the other, right? People disowned you or acted like you were patient zero or whatever it was, right? We, you know, like literally family members were turning on family members, you know? So that's what I'm saying. We got to break this tribalism, and we have to look outside the box, and we have to look out and realize our enemies are the very ones that have the power, but also if we don't start pushing back on them, they're going to have their way in their own will with however they want this plant to go. And then we end up taking 10 steps back when we just made all this progress, you know?
They also want us divided. They don't want us to come together and call them out on their bullshit. They like it that we're all button heads over stupid shit.
They do. And
it's divide and conquer, right? So if you have it's, you know, like I've even done it too, where you can divide a group or you can divide somebody up, and then they start questioning each other, and then they end up eating each other. And that's kind of what we're doing as a population, is we know who our enemies are and who's attacking this plant and what the purposes are. We just haven't had that clarity or a leader or sets of leaders to come to the forefront to go, hey, here's our path. This is what we're going to do. Because we're in this infancy. We're just waking up and realizing that we've been lied to, propagandized about this plant, and the war on drugs was bogus. And we should have, with the we should have had legalization back in the Nixon era. Right?
Yeah.
With the with that study, right? So it was the Schaefer study, right? So the Nixon administration was teeing up, being like, "Hey, we're going to legalize cannabis. This is stupid for it to be on a Schedule 1 drug," and instead they go, "Oh, we can use this as a political tool to suppress our enemies or people that oppose us and what we're doing." And conveniently enough, how history repeats itself, they wanted to stop the anti-war movement, right? That was against the Vietnam War, right? And it put additional pressure on minority neighborhoods, right? So it's kind of like history just continues to repeat itself over and over and over. And so yes, but we should have had legalization or been off of the schedule back in the Nixon era. They use it as a tool to suppress the people.
We should have had this 10 years ago. We should have had, we can call out any decade and say, we should have had it then. We should have had it now. Like, we shouldn't still be fighting for this.
No, yeah. And then they doubled down on it with the war on drugs and the they doubled down on it then. And that's where shit got even worse.
Well, the irony is this, is you have a sitting president that gloats about writing the very crime bill that we're all suffered under for decades. And then you think that person's going to be the savior when it comes to cannabis, when he outwardly says in his White House that in Biden's own White House even fired people for cannabis use, right? Even prior to their previous use of cannabis, they still got fired, So, but that's not to say that the other side is any better on the topic. What I'm ultimately getting at is as a community and as a force, if you start pushing up on both of these parties, they have to change their tune. They have to change the way that they do stuff, and they have to show results. And if they don't, it costs them elections. It comes more expensive to actually run a campaign if they have a serious opposition. And I'm telling you, I think if you really organize this community, you could have a block of 1% of the population, and that's only 3.3 million people. 1% of the population is 3.3 million people, and you could be a force to reckon with when you live in a country that only, half of the country votes, And the vast majority of the votership of the lower level, local levels is more of the boomer class. And that boomer class is recycling out, just basically aging out,
Trying to look through the comments, so I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm kind of monitoring them down now too, but but I think, like I said, people I always credit the comment section because you guys throw out some of the really awesome questions, and also too, some of you guys really be making some of the most awesome points where I've seen comments before where it's like I've took a note of it, I'm like, oh, I'm going to look a little bit more into that, or I want to know more about that, and that's why I think that by having that community and that continued community support is amazing, Yeah. See, like Vinny B, very active in the comments, and I really appreciate the comments, because what I'm seeing from Vinny B is his personal experience, whether it's directly from him or somebody he knew or a family member, because you can tell some of the comments where it's a passionate or it's a base. But if I was going to give one advice, any advice that's very important, I think that I would say, let's learn how to agree to disagree, and let's work on the shit that we can change, and let's start working in a direction that works for everybody in this community, and it ultimately benefits everybody in this community. And I know we got a little bit off track because we were talking about the one world, one plant, but I think it all ties in because we all are tied in literally across the world by this plant, and the tens of thousands of different strains and cultivars out there that people are looking at every day and finding satisfaction. And there's nothing better than to either take it from a seedling all the way to harvest, and you reflect on all the hard work it took to get there. And if you ask yourself, am I going to do it all over again? Hell yeah, you are, because you got a clone box full of clones and you're getting ready to do it all over again,
All over again.
Yeah, some of it, There's a lot of us, that's the thing is when you look around, everybody has their day-to-day stuff that they're going to do, whether it's their 9-to-5 job and all that. So they're carving out this, small time to take care of their garden or take care of this, and it's bringing them, basically a mental break from the rest of the world, because they're taking a living organism and taking it all the way to fruition.
Thanks, Nancy.
I'm trying to get through the bottom. I think I'm pretty caught up now. I'm trying to read all your guys' comments. I'm trying to throw up the ones that like catch my eye, really.
Yeah.
Well,
But
it's hard to keep up because, like I said, I'm kind of basically monitoring them. But there's also great conversation that's going on in the comment section too. That's where, that's where I want to be able to continue to give people stuff to engage with and talk about and keep moving forward. Always keep growing. Now we get to move in and shift because now we get to shift in this new direction where now we're starting to create these base camps around the country with the Stockyards, right? So we're now, big, huge supporting and helping put together the Stockyards program, which is going to provide, not just seeds, but also clones across the country, and you'll start seeing it pop up more and more. But the basis behind it is to bring people together that are going to basically make other folks' grows and situations that much better. You're utilizing your resources and your network and your friends and the things that have been built up to this point to get a broader audience and spread it to more people in the process.
Yeah, talk about the Stockyards a little bit. Let them know. I mean, the grand opening is coming up within a month, about a month's time.
Stockyards was just an idea that a couple of us were talking, and we were kind of going back and forth, and I was like, well, it's an underserved section of part because when you have like I said, you don't have anything that's organized or hodgepodge, and then when we started actually kind of comparing our nurseries and what we have in our collections and the strains, we were like, hey, let's start rolling these out. Let's start getting them around the country, etc. So this has been something that's been in the months in the making, and we're finally coming up to a T. And anybody that's ever worked in the legal cannabis market knows all the hurdles. And just when you think you're past that one hurdle, they set up 5 or 6 more. And then you go and you do that, and then they put a moat, around the track, and then you got to swim across it, But ultimately, the one thing that I'm really excited about is the response that we had, and then now we're going to start doing these slow rollouts, and then we get to continue adding to it every week, and then also opening it up to a broader audience and a broader folks, and then start getting people access to a lot of the genetic diversity out there that they should have. We should be able to, find what we're looking for, especially ultimately where this comes in really important is when the information and the cannabinoid breakdowns that are treating certain symptoms start to really come to the surface, and people are going to grow specifically to what's helping them. There's a lot of you folks that are out there that are growing specific strains and have keep cloning and keep growing those because they've taken away your anxiety, right? They've helped with your pain. Like there was a guy in the comments earlier where he had a terrible motorcycle accident and he really used cannabis for his pain treatment. So when that information starts coming out, and then, like as an example, we saw recently where they listed about 7 strains that really help with ADHD, right? And so those strains consisted of from True OG to Green Crack. I think there was a few other OG strains that were on there. But what that shows is people can look at that and go, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to try it. I'm going to grow that. But there's not really a source or a true source where you're going to be able to source those type of clones. So you're truly growing that. And hopefully we can fill that void. And that's really the main driver behind this, is to be able to fill that type of void. When these studies and this information start to come out, that the growers, especially the growers and the home growers, have a source to be like, okay, I can create a grow plan. I can grow 2 of this and 2 of this, and now I can Now I got the combination of the cannabinoids that I'm going to need in order to ward this off or fight this off. You know, it's a grandiose idea, but if you're not thinking big, you're not thinking in the right space. You know, and the cool part is the people that are involved. There's really cool people that are around me that are not just dedicated but genuinely good people, like Owski, right? You know, I got $5 and his wife out there in Oklahoma that's been tremendous help on getting all that together. Tino's had a major influence on this and been in lockstep putting this together. The support from Chad from Dark Star, you know, just the community of people that support when you when you bounce the idea off of somebody and they go, that's a pretty good idea. And then when you start moving forward and they start seeing the progress, they're like, oh, this is actually starting to really become a great idea. And then what it does is it attracts people to come support that and help push that and navigate that to be that much more successful. And that's what I'm starting to see with the Stockyards. But like I said, there's a really big, huge goals that we would like to hit and that we're going to really push for over the next couple of years. But it's always going to be rooted and based around home growers. It's always going to be based in around the community. That's why when we were kind of brainstorming and we had this crazy idea about the QR codes, right? It was community. It was people that support, the people that give education. It was like, we want to create those type of things where people can come in and just scan something and they got to instantly link to somebody. And then we want to continue to expand that to the people in the community, etc. But we want to create an educational access points for people. But in addition to that, be able to supply them with the necessary situations and cultivars that they're going to need in order to keep moving forward.
And speaking of cultivars, so you guys are going to finally be offering clones, right? So you want to talk about that a little bit? I mean, I know this is coming soon. I don't know.
Yeah. So right now we have we have a nursery up in Tulsa, and then we have here in Washington we have a couple of farms that we already work with that they already have a lot of this genetic library in there. And just so you guys know, it's not just in-house. It's a lot of the stuff that we've collected over the years that we've now pushed and got around to other areas around the country. So now in Oklahoma in particular, I want to say that there's 122 strains in that nursery. So we're going to released 10, and then we're starting to ease into that. Those are now beginning to move out, and then the mothers are getting much bigger, so where you can clone, and that'll only continue to, excuse the metaphor, but it'll continue to grow and get much larger. But now we have an actual destination spot there in Southwest Oklahoma that people can now come and either order or have it on deck for them on what they're looking in for particular. And the cool part is maybe they're looking for something in particular. We have the resources and the connections to, hey, we can actually maybe find this for you if you're looking for this in particular, and kind of just putting it in a direction that isn't really seen yet and really kind of spearhead and pioneering a way. Now, it's still in the early stages, right? We will shift and move as we move forward, but ultimately that's one thing that's really good when you have a really good team and you have really good smart individuals around you to navigate this, because we are in some parts of uncharted territory, right? So that's where you want to surround yourself with good people that are also have an understanding, because because maybe your idea isn't fully completed until somebody challenges you or helps expand you on your idea. So the nice part is we're going to do it slowly. So that way the trips and falls, which are anytime you're starting something out, isn't that big of a setback, right? And then that way we can continue to learn from the little things as we continue to grow ourselves. But the ultimate goal is to create a source for people that's reliable and also a go-to for folks, and then now be able to have basically a home base in many cases for that.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, like I'm kind of stealing this from Candyman Seeds, but this is kind of a renaissance. Like, there isn't a path to figure out how to do this exactly. This is all being made from scratch. And yeah, having the right people around. We all come from different backgrounds. We've all had different lives before this. So yeah, when we all come together, like, we get some pretty fucking awesome ideas.
Well,
Yeah.
also too, think of it this way. This is it's a concept and an idea. Some of the best growers in the world follow these pages. They follow in-house pages. They follow our pages. And I'm not kidding you when I say some of the best growers, hands down, around. Okay, this in turn has some of the most talented pheno hunters that included into that. Now, as we progress and we move to, say, legalization and we get some sort of resemblance where we're not constricted by, say, big pharma or anything like that, we have a wealth of people at our disposal to continue to expand and create one of the largest diverse genetic catalogs that has ever really been seen, because the people, if you give people the tools and the opportunity to do what they love, that investment comes back tenfold, and that's the thing that we look at is we go, okay, hey, look at this community we have. We have something that a lot of people don't have, so now you got to harness that energy. It's like harnessing the sun, essentially. That motherfucker's hot, right? You just can't go lassoing it. You got to be strategic on how you're going to harness that type of energy. And that's what this community is. It's a big, huge burning fusion that we're like, okay, how are we going to harness this without, how are we going to do this smartly and good? And that's what I'm saying is when you look at this community, some of the most gifted, brightest, hardest working folks. And it's like, let's find a way to incorporate them in this so they don't feel alienated, or they don't feel like they're left out on the grand big picture of things, because these type of conversations, you guys, leads to a really push and drive. Like, as an example, I've even talked to people and asked, what's the feasibility to take a whole community and treat them like they're investors, and then you go and you enter these markets and you do right by the situation, and then you're basically owned by the people that supported you in order to do that, right? Kind of like I want to say cash and carry, or one of the grocery stores. They're like 80% employee owned, right? So they have a whole different outlook, but they're not subjected to a lot of the things that other, like, Kroger's and all that are, because of the way that their structure is made up. So if you have a structure that's made up by the people for the people, those are the people that it's going to serve. That's the fruits and the labors that are going to come back to that way. So, like I said, these are all ideas. These are all stuff that we're implementing. These are all stuff that we like to look at. But I know that there's more expanding on this big, huge fusion ball that is the growers community, and figuring out how to incorporate that. There's definitely something there. I haven't fully figured it out yet, but I will.
And we'll be right along. We'll be right along for the ride. So,
yeah. Well, think about it, right? Like, you have every country in this world covered when it comes to growers, right? If we put a call out for growers in, say, Mozambique, we're going to get 10, 15 people that's going to hit us up, right? They're like, well, maybe I'm just outside. I'm in South Africa. But my brother or my cousin, right, or my friend lives up in Swaziland or whatever. Like, you see what I'm saying, right? Like, the network is there. You just got to, like, the field of dreams.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about the one world, this whole project that you started before and will continue now, it's everywhere. People from across the whole world will be growing the same thing. It's cool.
The thing that it was like, when I tell you guys, the One World, One Plant is really about the people. We recently had some folks that got it, and they did crosses, and then they turned around and they put a price tag on it. And we were like, hey, at least free up a couple hundred packs for free for people, right? I'm not going to tell you. I mean, the thing is it's for the people to enjoy, right? I mean, you're going to do what you're going to do, but at least pay homage, and pay it forward, that type of thing, but that's really what we didn't get. And one thing that I can say that was really cool about the whole thing, there was 2 posts that I saw out of that whole project that was negative about that project. Everything else was positive, and those emails were unbelievable to read. Like the people that were excited, they were waiting for it to come. There was one email in particular where the person was like, man, it's been shitty for me. I've had this, listed off a laundry list of stuff that was going on in their life, and it was pretty dark, and they were like really looking forward to this. And taking note of that person and their handle, and then watching from that 2 years to now to where they're at now, right, has been tremendous to watch. They are in a whole completely different light. I'm not saying that we are a part of that story. Our situation is a part of that story, but it was part of their catalyst in order to get out of that dark ass room that they were confined in. But when you see people winning, you see your friends winning, you see your community winning, that gives you a great sense that you're winning as well too. And there's nothing better than that feeling of winning, And that's why we don't really I don't care for participation trophies, right? You go to play, you go to win. If you don't win, guess what? You go back, you practice, you come back, you give it. Eventually, at some point, you're going to win. And that way, that win is very, very important to you.
That much sweeter, yeah. If you're not first, you're last.
Definitely. Yeah. Listen, it was cool to be part of the last one. It was cool to be in the groups. It was cool to get to know people. I still talk to them now, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I think people are going to be super stoked, and there's nothing like that. You as a breeder, that's got to be the best feeling. Me as somebody who does try to give out to the community, there's nothing that I like more than people. Like I said this before to you, coming back to me 6, 7, 8 months later and telling me I couldn't have did it without you. My grow, this, that, and it just goes a long way to knowing that you're helping people out in that satisfying way, just to know people are actually doing better in their lives and maybe picked up a hobby, maybe never grew before, and now they are, and they're actually making their lives are actually better because of the plant. And
the quality of life, not just from gardening and therapy from gardening, but the medicine you're growing yourself.
The whole combination of all that
the whole from start to finish. Yeah.
It's a lot of that though, because when you think about it, it's that support. It's the support you get from your community and the people around you. As an example, a lot of stuff that we do has a whole support group that supports us along the way. Right? That's why you don't hear I. That's why you don't hear I, because we have a fully understanding and respect that it took a group, it took a community to build this and get us to this point and continue to go. Like as an example, I left a comment on somebody's post the other day where I said, home growers are the brick and mortar of this industry, and the commercial is the industry, or sorry, the brick and mortar, right, is the foundation of this building. The industry is just living in the building, so it needs to respect its landlords. And that's why I can't stress enough is you have to stand up and say, hey, we exist. We're on par, but we are the future. The home growers are the future. Without home growers, we're going to end up with just a few couple of things that's going to be crammed down, and then all this generational work will go in the wash. So that's why I'm saying the backbone, the most important part about this. And any company that doesn't support home growers or turns their back on home growers should have a problem in going in the future,
Agreed.
Because that is, the importance of it, because just we relate to the craft growers, right? Without the craft growers, with the craft brewers, we wouldn't have the diversity that we have in that industry. And that's where I think the closest thing that we can relate at the present moment is that craft brew compared to the cannabis, right? Otherwise it's just going to be Budweiser and Bud Light, right? We're just going to have, I don't even want to say the strain because, it could be misconstrued, but you'll walk in and you'll have 3 or 4 choices, and then they'll tell you that's it. But also, since we touched on Schedule 3, I do have a theory that they'll allow the flower to be sold, but they will make the extraction, they will make the rosin, they will make the BHO, they will make the oil highly illegal to produce or next to impossible feasible for any sort of company that's not a medical rated facility in order to produce it. I think that's where the control is going to come from, because they know that the flower is only going to help with, say, some anxiety and topical type of situations, but the real cannabinoid and the real magic of that plant is in the extraction and those concentrated cannabinoids.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, we'll see how this plays out. We'll see. Isn't it supposed? I think they have what, 2 more days to send in, and it's like the 22nd. I mean, I know it's like pretty much done, but I think isn't that?
I think, yeah, just like another day or two, I think, tops.
Right.
I saw a post, I think, today that said we had till like midnight today or midnight tomorrow, something like that.
Yeah,
I think so.
So that, you know, like seeing these type of comments, and people are seeing these type of comments. I don't want to call the name out, but it's basically the person in the comments said, you know, I was depressed. I started growing. I started feeling better, right? You know, and sometimes it's hard to see that when you're depressed, but in some cases, taking those steps do get you a better look on life, better outlook, better feel across the board. And if you're feeling better, the people around you are going to feel better, you know? So that's what I'm saying is don't let anybody shade your shine, and always make the changes to do better and be better, and always move forward.
Yeah.
Looks like you're whispering in Darkstar's ear. That was funny. Start him off. What's the shape of Italy?
Yeah, what's the shape of Italy? Whatever, man. 1 minute, bro.
But yeah, no, real deal, you guys. I mean, but we got a lot of really cool stuff coming up, and also a lot of your guys' suggestions, a lot of your feedback is all getting recycled into this, and really trying to really push that envelope and really make it a community base as much as possible. I do have this crazy idea where, and the people that are involved have the same sentiment, where we want to kind of make it interactive for the community and see how much we can intertwine that and what we can do, and ultimately just do it differently than a lot of other people.
The boots. Yeah.
The boots. Get them out of here, folks.
I'm trying to go through the comments. I'm trying to get everything out of the way. I think we're pretty caught up. All right, so we are caught up in the comments. That was it. All right, perfect. Okay, so I restarted it on Instagram already. We're good. That's what I was doing. We can go as long as we want. You know, we're good. So we can do. Yeah, we can continue talking. I mean, we can expand more on the Stockyards, right? So the Stockyards in the tumbleweed dispensary in Oklahoma is obviously, Oklahoma is a very particular market, and there's a lot going on there. But I've always liked that market because it gave everybody the opportunity that wanted to throw their hat in the ring. It gave them the opportunity to do it, you know, and they didn't build walls or big old huge hurdles. You're starting to get a lot of regulation and reform now, but in the early beginning stages, it was like, here, we're going to give everybody a shot. And I think that's what's prevented like a monopoly, but also now you're starting to get influence at the state level. That's why if you live in Oklahoma, I urge you guys to continue following Brandon Rust and listening to the things that he says, and start talking to your neighbors, and start talking to your fellow growers, start talking to your fellow dispensaries, because they're not your enemy, they're not your competition. They're your person in arms to push back against the entities that don't want you to exist. That's very, very important. And I think by us having a presence there, we do have that neutrality to have these type of discussions. And we've had these type of discussions on the places that we've visited. And I've visited quite a bit of these folks, and they all say the same thing. So it's like, well, what are you doing to move forward? And what I've noticed is the feedback is they're not sure what to do. And I don't blame them, because it's hard to put yourself on a limb
But also, too, if there's no organization, then you're just one voice in a big old huge void, you know. And so we can help shift that and spark that. Then we're doing what we're supposed to, you know. And that's really the whole idea is to ignite that light and ignite that fire into people. So that way they it'll catch like wildfire, and this community comes rushing in to support folks that want to move in that realm, move in that direction. And that's to change it for the betterment of everybody that's involved. But yeah, there's a lot of really mom and pop style small growers there that are doing really great work, and they just keep getting this boot pushed down on them by the state. But I don't fully fault the state either, because some of that's coming from controlled opposition and controlled lobbyists and people paying to have these crazy decisions made, and some of it's just they're not educated to the point where they should be educated. So I wouldn't necessarily say like they're your enemy. I mean, stupid comments are stupid comments, but I think there's always room for growth and always room for education, and there's always room for a lot of these folks to change their mind along the way and admit, like, maybe I did get this wrong, or I wasn't fully educated on the subject or the topic, And I've encountered that, where it's like, oh, I need to educate myself more on this before I can even speak on it. People have asked me questions, and I'm like, I need to look more into it. I need to actually do more research on it before I even weigh opinion on that, because one, it's important, and two, I don't want to convey the wrong information to to somebody or to a group of people.
Absolutely. What else do we have? All right, so and you do have the grand opening coming up out there soon for all the people that are in Oklahoma.
So we got cameras going in tomorrow, and then that's the last of the checklist, and then we can call in for an inspection. So as soon as that inspection happens, it will go across all social media. It's game time. This is what we're doing, and let everybody know. And then look forward to people trickling in there and coming by. Like I said, we've had people come by, and when we were working on it, we've had funny one was like I was getting ready to leave, and I probably won't use his name, but he basically just stopped in the middle of the road and yelled my name, and I was like, well, come on over, And so
you can say his name because we already said it. So All Stars.
Yeah, true.
We'll put him out there.
Well, I only know his Instagram handle. I'm not sure what he's on YouTube. And since we're all fancy on YouTube now, I don't want to mess that up.
No, he's in here. I seen him in here. He's definitely in here. Yeah, I think it's the same name on there. But yeah. There he is right there. See? All Stars. Yeah.
Smokes a lot, OG. I live in Seattle, but I get all around the country. But yeah, so when we get that information out here in the coming days, it'll be fun, because I'm gonna, like I said before, we're gonna set it a month out from that to do the actual grand opening, so that way, both people like Dark Star and our friends and all that stuff, we can come out. We're gonna have a really good party. We're gonna have some things to do. We have a space around us where we can actually throw a party and actually have a really good time and bring a lot of people out that otherwise, for a good time. There's nothing better than hanging out with your friends, it's more likely going to be a hot summer day.
Yeah, I'm ready, bro. Oklahoma. I mean, I've never really been there either, so it's like it should be fun.
It's like the timing. It's taken forever, but also too, you're taking the steps and making sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and that you're going to be able to have success with it. So instead of just trying to rush it and cram it down and all that, you're just taking the necessary steps. I mean, it's taken a lot longer than you anticipated, but I feel all good things, do take time to mature. And also that timing has brought some really great folks into the fold and part of the project. And you guys, we look forward to you guys getting introduced to them on a lot of levels. We'll see them in the lives and all that, but in an actual pivotal role in an intricate part of the whole wheel in that process is going to be cool to let you guys meet and get introduced to along the way.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, I think that we had talked about maybe doing a giveaway at the end of the night. I don't know if it's that time yet or not. That's up to you
Yeah,
guys.
let's do it.
We could always keep talking. I feel like we could use. So I have this thing that actually does here. Let me get it set up.
You guys, I think the music just got turned down and the lights got turned up. This party's almost over.
This party's almost over. Wait,
you don't got to go home, but you can't stay here.
You can't stay here, right? All right, let me get it set up. Hold on, I can't see you guys right now, so. But I feel like we'll do it with this. I mean, we're talking about the one world, one plant. So I think that Twisted told me, these hashtags do, get around social media, whatever. So we'll use this right there. Make sure the screen's going to share. Here we go. Do that. And then it should be up there. Is it up there? Yeah, it's up there. All right.
Looks like it's up there.
I don't know I said, how do I make it smaller, bro? I don't know how to make it smaller. It's like the whole damn screen. But we're still here. You can all see us. We shrunk a little bit, but that's it. So this is going to be for, and I'm going to let him tell you exactly what it's for. But what you guys need to do is type out that hashtag. This will pick out the winner. So we'll give you guys a couple minutes. Type out the hashtag. Spread it around. One world, one plant. Oh, I thought I spelled it wrong for a second. No, we good. One world, one plant. Hashtag that. This will pick out the winner, but I'm going to let him, the man right here, tell you all what you can win.
Who's picking out the winner?
It will pick it out automatically. It will scan your name.
Yeah. My ADD kicked in, and I was like, all of a sudden, I was all over the place. I caught the last bit of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to run this twice. We're going to do the exact same thing last time. We're going to do a random freebie giveaway on the first one, and then the second one is going to be another box. So basically, they're just wood boxes, and I'll send you a list to get it. So I'm going to do Joe's on Monday, and then this one will be done the following week of the custom box. So because I do have some traveling coming up, and these things do take a little bit of time to do if you're making them custom. So just so you know, the freebies will go out right away, but the boxes will be roughly about 2 weeks from today when you'll get them. Guys,
Cool.
They're being made from scratch.
Yeah.
Who's making them, Owski?
The box, well, it depends. Like if I got the time, I can whip a box out real quick, and because we have a wood shop, or I can buy one too. And then add or engrave anything that I want to put on there.
Okay, so how's the wall going? Are we fully into the wall now? Like, how's the wall coming along? How are the codes coming along? Where are you guys at on that?
So I had to make additional holders for it. So I finished those a couple weeks ago, and then I'll put those in the mail and ship them down there, because the whole wall is custom. So even the pieces that you saw that were holding them, right? Those were all routed out so that they could customly fit the size of the QR code. And then so I had to make more of those because we were running, obviously, as you saw, we were running out of space. So we are going to run it down that wall, and then when you look to the left, you can see we have another side of that wall where we'll be able to continued over. So where you see the brown wood, that all had to be routed out so that those pieces, those QR code pieces of wood would be able to fit in there. But in the center will be the category of what's on that list, or what's on that strip of QR codes. So if you're looking for education and grower education, it'll have a banner on there. And then if you're looking for, say, like, podcast or entertainment or whatever, it'll have it on each of those strips of wood there. But yeah, 100%. 100% custom. So
How many?
I ripped those things down, and I kept having to make more of them because Owski kept saying, "Hey, we're running out." So I had to keep cutting those strips down and making more of them because we kept running out.
How many do you think is going to be there when all is said and done? Like, are you going to keep adding to it, adding to it, adding to it?
So what I think I'm going to do is, yeah, we're going to keep adding to it. But what we'll have is we'll have the industry stuff and the people that are giving the content, the information, and the education. And then I think what we'll also do, instead of taking a pin for where you're from, I think what we'll do is if you come from out of state or you're coming from wherever, I think what we'll do is we'll just make you a QR code so it shows that you made it into the store from whatever place you came from. You know.
Nice.
Yeah, like we haven't fully grasped it, but locked it down. But we're gonna do a lot of cool stuff like that in particular, and a lot of just stuff that you're not really gonna see anywhere else. The whole idea is to be creative and try something, and if it works, cool. If it doesn't, fuck it, we tried it. It didn't work, so we'll try something else. You know, that's the whole idea. You know, just try to do cool shit.
And you definitely are. You definitely are. Very cool stuff. You know, I always say that. I do.
He's inventing the wheel here. Kind of inventing the wheel.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I just do. I think it's great. You know, I'm stoked to come out there and. Oh wait.
You ready?
I am ready. You ready?
Yeah. So we're doing it back to back, right?
Yeah, we'll do it back to back. All right.
All right.
Here we go. Let me get in here. All right, guys. Here we go. Here we go.
You guys are all
ready?
fancy, man. You guys, all your cool.
Check that out. Look.
Look at that.
I mean, you know, I'm just saying it's pretty cool.
Peace later.
Oh, all right. We need T Slater to let us know he's here. T Slater. You gotta be it. I'm sure you're here because obviously you put the hashtag up. So, oh, there he is right there. All right, cool. T Slater.
All right.
Are you ready? We'll do it again. You ready? Everybody ready? I think we can spin it right back. We'll use, yeah, draw again.
Yeah, draw again.
Ready? Let's go. All right. Yeah, I like it, man. I think it's pretty nifty. Oh shit, 6 barrel. Oh shit, this is the homie. What's up? All right, 6 barrel. Let us know you're here. And let me put the YouTube back up there. You guys should have Owski's email by now. It's been up there the whole time. If you guys need to get in contact, make sure you hit her up. And did we see 6 barrel? I'm sure he's here, right? Oh, I've not seen him yet. All right.
Ooh.
Oh. You got 10 seconds, my friend. Oh, it's no soup! We'll spin it right back. Damn. You're going to be upset over this one. Right?
His keyboard stuck.
Hey, it looks like he's not here. So I mean, Casey's saying, wait, I seen him. Yeah, he ain't here right now though. So look, wait, where was it at? Casey. Oh, I don't know where it went, but anyway. All right, we'll put that up. There you go.
Somebody said he said nice.
He said nice, but where?
He's right there.
Right. Oh, you see him now? I didn't see him. All right, cool. I figured he had to be here.
Yeah. Woo, that was close.
There he is. Now we good.
All right, yeah, and then you'll be on tomorrow.
Yeah, we can come back on tomorrow for sure. So we can come back on tomorrow. We can do this again.
You do
You
it
let me
tomorrow, or you want to
know.
do it Friday?
You know what? Let's do it Friday. How about Friday?
Okay. I'll be in Denver on Friday. Actually, I'm gonna be with Matt from ICANN. So
Okay.
yeah. So we'll do it Friday. I'll be 1 hour closer to you because I think it's Mountain Time.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Cool. Perfect. All right. I guess we can call it a night, guys. I'm gonna figure out. I will probably wait till Friday, and I'll figure out how to do some of this one world, one planet. Today there was no mail. We didn't know. It'll probably get here Friday or Saturday. I would like to, try to pick out some random people. But like I said, if you guys do get these, we have to know you're gonna pop them and grow them out. So I have to decide how to do that randomly and make sure it's,
Yeah, like I said,
there
figure
for
out
everybody.
what you need from me, and then you can make an alternative list. Like I said, I'll just keep posting and let people know the next set of people that are going to have it, so they can go check it out there. But just so you know, every seed is going out.
Let's go.
Yeah. So, but cool. Well, thanks for the time. You guys have been awesome. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, brother. I appreciate you, Owski. Thank you. You guys have a good night. I will see. We'll see everybody Friday night. Friday night. I'll get a post up. You guys will know. So, all right,
All right, see ya.
out of here. Everybody have a good night. Much love. I appreciate everybody. Y'all stay safe. Go to the YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Subscribe. Like it. Watch it. Love it. Listen to it. Watch it again. But yeah. As you can tell, I'm a little bit tired at this point. I have been here for a couple hours. Uh, by the end of the night, I definitely lag a little bit. But Friday night, I'll get with Brandon. We will figure out a time and we will do this again. So, all right, y'all stay safe. Much love. Stay blessed. And I will see you guys Friday night. Peace. Out of here.